FanPark Live. It is transfer deadline day. There's also Premier League games going on as well. I'm joined tonight by Mr. DT on my left and my dad, Mr. Jeff Jukes. We do have different surnames and we will be doing a paternity test, I understand, by the end of the show to make sure he is really my dad. So the producer told me earlier. Gentlemen, I'll start off with DT. Thanks for joining us. Happy with the transfer window?
Yeah, so far. Still a few hours to go. I want another signing.
Another one?
Yeah, I want a defender.
Who would you... Johnny Evans, I know Arsenal are linked with.
It's a tough one. You look at... how do you pronounce it? Manolas?
Yep, Manolas. Was he the Greek guy?
Yeah, at Roma.
Roma.
But I feel that that's more of a summer addition. There's talk that, you know, he's asking for... Well, the club are asking for the money straight up.
Yeah, and Arsenal and spending isn't always...
Yeah, they're not really going to do that, but you know that we're looking for a defender with the fact that, you know, the Johnny Evans things came out. But then, what do? Do they go back in very late in the window, or is there a plan B, another option? Yeah,
well, there's still, what, 2 hours, 15 minutes... sorry, 3 hours, 15 minutes remaining, I think. So there's still a long while left to go, and we know sometimes... There hasn't been a last-minute deal yet on the cards. Mahrez is off. My dad, Jeff here, a Spurs fan. You happy with this window from your point of view?
That's because we've made a signing in a January window for the first time in 3 years.
Yeah.
Dele Alli, last player we signed in the January deadline.
And Lucas Moura...
He looks a good signing. Good sign. Even DT's got. That's a good signing for Spurs. DT.
Do you know what I said the other day when I was mentioning about him, and I said that I rate him as a player. Obviously, even with the Arsenal signings, and
sure.
I think the difference between, say, Aubameyang is that he comes to us with a bigger pedigree, you know, with stats to back him up with the goals and everything else. You would probably suggest the Bundesliga is a tougher league than, what's it called in France, the league?
La Liga.
Liga
1, or the French league.
Yeah.
It's obviously it's a much difficult, more challenge. Yeah, something like that. So there is that, but you never know with these with players that come from abroad, you never quite know who's going to hit the ground running, who's going to flop. And you could literally sign, look, Falcao, Angel Di Maria coming to Man United. We'd have thought one of them would have done well. But Veron, an even older version. And I think all of our clubs over the years have signed hot prospects and
we've
players.
Signed some donkeys.
Yeah, all of us. Spurs, Man United and Arsenal have all gone out there and done that. Obviously, Aubameyang was announced today.
Aubameyang's he's a good player. Good player. But let me ask you, DT.
Yeah.
You happy that Giroud's gone?
Do you know what? It's mixed feelings as an Arsenal fan, in a sense that we've needed a proper striker. Giroud was never going to be your plan A. He was never going to win you titles. He's never going to make you, you know, go, because he's just not that option. You know, you look at the likes of Thierry Henry. We've been blessed as Arsenal fans to have some serious strikers straight after each other. Ian Wright, Nicolas Anelka, Thierry Henry. We were blessed with 15 odd years of just... Don't talk about him. I left him out for a reason. But, no, but the thing is with Van Persie is that he had one good year in 8 years. Also, he was injured for most of it. Then he had that one real good year, and then he basically went, yeah, bye-bye, sort of thing. And that's where kind of the anger lies with Arsenal fans, is because, you know, we stuck by him while he was going through all his injury problems, and then he has one good season and he jumped ship. With Olivier Giroud, I like him as a player. I don't think he's a flop at Arsenal. You were telling me earlier, Dad, about sort of... tell everyone what you told me.
Listen, I just looked at it this morning, and I was amazed that 5.5 years he's been at the Emirates. And in that time, he's played approximately a quarter of the minutes that he could have played if he'd have played every game. Now, we know not every player can play every game for 90 minutes. He's played 5,000 minutes out of a possible 19,000, but he scored 73 goals in the Premier League game. That's 1 every 73 minutes, or 1.2 goals a game if you equate it back to 90 minutes. That's a very, very good strike rate. And yet Wenger, and has always said he's not a sub, and yet he's played him hardly at all. You look at how many starts he gets a season. You know the problem with Olivier Giroud is that he has scored some big goals.
We don't deny that. With 2 assists with 2 different cup finals and stuff like that. You look at the assist against Chelsea last year. He assisted Ramsey for the whole cup final as well. The problem is that Olivier Giroud, he's one of those strikers. He needs 3-4 chances to score 1.
Yeah. Where
if you're going to go to the next level, you need a striker that's going to score 1 in 1. You could have a striker that, you know, could be quite... Ian Wright, Henry, you wouldn't see them for 90 minutes in some games because they were marked out of the game. And then all of a sudden, one chance would come along.
Bang.
It was in the net. And they'd win the game.
Great conversion.
Yeah, Wright, he was, you know, and that was the problem.
I watched an interview with Ian Wright once, and they said, what was your best skill? And he was like, I don't know if you call it a skill, but he goes, I just had a thought where the ball might end up. Nobody else was standing there. I'd go for that position, and the ball would roll in front of me, and I'd tap it in the net. And I think you can't teach that or coach that. I think it's an instinct thing. Just for everyone tuning in and viewing, please make sure you download the One Football app. The information is in the description below. They sponsor us. They power this show. It's an amazing place for all your stats, all your news, league tables. You can keep up to date with all the transfer news tonight. That's where we're grabbing it all from as well. We'll stick with Arsenal for a moment because some good players have come in. Mkhitaryan, again, I'm not going to be biased. I think he was a good player at United. I think Arsenal, he may do even better at your club if things go well for him. But you have seen a lot of players leave. And I wouldn't say Coquelin, we spoke about Giroud already, Theo Walcott. These guys, we know they're not world-class players, but collectively they score goals, they do a good job. Do you not feel like you've weakened? Do you not feel like you've weakened the squad at all?
No. The problem is, like you said, they score goals, but they don't do enough to take us to another level. This is the issue. And we've said so long as fans, Walcott's not good enough to take us to the level. Francis Coquelin's not good enough to take us to that level. Gabriel's not good enough to take us to that level as a defender. All these players that we've sold are the players, you know, bar Alexis, but every single one of those players are players where we've said they're never going to take you where we want to be, which is where we used to be. We're not going to challenge for titles with those players. So
is that down? Why haven't you got? Look,
well,
I'm a Spurs supporter, but I've loved watching Arsenal. Trust, I'm going to get stick off Spurs supporters, but they've been a great team to watch. But where are your Henrys? Where are your Vieiras? Where are the
problem was the whole move in the stadium. We knew that we had to rein things in. Back in the day when we had Henry and Vieira, there was only Arsenal and Manchester United. There was not Manchester City. There was not Chelsea and all the money that they have.
Yeah, fair point.
So, you know, it's got a lot tougher. But we've had to, you know, live within our means more than anything when moving to the Emirates and stuff. And then it's only really been the last 4 to 5 years or so where we know the money's there and available. And the issue is spending it.
And that's the thing with me. Like, I don't know if you've seen any of the times I've had a few rants about Arsenal, and everyone knows who I support. I'm a Man United fan. But I look at Arsenal in the same way my dad does, in terms of a proper football club with a heritage, with a history, that from my footballing lifetime gave me the best rivalries I've ever had. Man United and Arsenal in the 90s was absolutely amazing. And what's frustrated me is that, as you say, the last 4 or 5 years, where Company's House, the documents are there for people to see. There is cash reserves galore at the club. The income of Arsenal is massive. The stadium, obviously, it's been paid for now, right?
No, not yet.
A lot of it's paid back. But with the new TV deal money as well, like, you've had teams like Bournemouth suddenly becoming the top 25 richest clubs in the world because of the new TV money. Arsenal have cash. And there still feels like there's penny pinching going on. I mean, even the Aubameyang deal, it nearly fell through because when the pound obviously grew in strength, which meant that Arsenal could get in cheaper for the Euros that Dortmund wanted. So Dortmund tried to increase the price again. And it's a little cheeky from their point of view, but Arsenal are the ones that need him. And they were quibbling over 4 or 5 million. You just think, get it done. You know, when you're paying a manager that's for 12 years, 30 million quid a year, £4 million,
of course,
not a lot of money.
I understand that. And the one thing I say to it is that it's worked out well in the end. It's a bit of a merry-go-round when you look at the whole deal. It's very much tied into Giroud going to Chelsea, Batshuayi going to Dortmund, and Aubameyang coming to us. Now, out of those 3 deals, we've got the best.
I agree.
100%.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
So, you know, the haggling and everything else and whatnot, it's worked out right. But what I'm liking as a fan, and I'm seeing differently, is obviously Ivan Gazidis. We know about his, you know, catalyst for change and all that kind of comments and stuff. Without getting too ahead of ourselves and being too, oh yes, this is it, we're going to dominate now and we're going to do all these great things, we are actually seeing things behind the scenes, big time. And you only have to look at the guys that went over to Germany.
You know, I get it. Speaking of behind the scenes, I'll switch the conversation across to Spurs for a minute. A lot of things going on there. Building the new stadium. We drove past it tonight. It looks like it's going to be a magnificent stadium.
Well, sure, they're all good, these new stadiums, aren't they?
But are you worried, as a Spurs fan? You've probably got your best squad in the last 25, 30 years.
Yeah, arguably.
Maybe since the Lineker and Gaza days.
Yeah.
Are you worried, though, that a bit like with Arsenal, if the money isn't in contracts, if the right quality of personnel is not brought in, you could see people like Toby, Harry Kane even leaving. Does that not concern you?
I go back to the late 80s, early 90s, the Venable time at Spurs, when I thought he had a squad together that was capable of challenging the following year, and then it all went pear-shaped. Ruddock went to Liverpool, and they lost 2 or 3 players. Sheringham went to United, and the rest is history. I think if you're a Spurs supporter, because we haven't won anything for such a long time apart from the odd cup, we're used to selling "shut up, DT, smug bastard." It weren't so long ago that your helpline was 0800 1-0. You picked up a couple of fluky FA Cups. Stop it.
I know.
By the way, I'm going to stop. Why does this keep coming up about David Luiz going to Arsenal from Chelsea? That's not going to happen tonight, is it?
You never know. I actually said it a couple of days ago. I said, look, if Chelsea want Olivier Giroud, then fair enough, give us David Luiz. Yeah. Because he's clearly out of favour.
Yeah.
But the only problem is that there seems to be something going on between Conte and Abramovich.
Oh, there's a massive problem.
Massively. So the only issue is, if Conte is not, you know, he doesn't want Luiz, Abramovich might want him. Because in his mind, he might be going...
There's always something going on between Abramovich, who's ever managed that
I
club.
think it's clear to see now that no manager that's been at Chelsea since Abramovich's reign has any control really over transfers. It's what the owners want, it's what the board want. But the thing with that, look, I would say Arsenal had David Luiz. He had that one good year. The guy's still a bit of a donkey. I think he still comes out too much. He's got the mistakes in him like Mustafi's got.
Do you know what
I don't know how he's going to improve Arsenal.
Do you know what it is? He is in a flat 4, he's awful. In a 3, he's really good. And also, there's the option to put him in as a defensive midfielder.
Yep.
We need one. So Coquelin, and he's the only backup, as you say, and you've got El Neni and whatnot. But you know, there's another player that's not good enough.
How much would you, if you were in charge, how much would you stick a bid in for him tonight for?
Well, we don't know exactly what's going on, but because he's out of favour, and it depends as well whether David Luiz is pushing for it. It depends whether.
Does he fancy it? With due respect, he might not fancy
does it? You know, we don't know, but it could be Arsenal could have made an agreement there and said, look, the Giroud thing has to be a separate deal and not a swap because of what it entails, which is Batshuayi going to Dortmund.
Yeah, that was just a triangle, wasn't it?
Yeah, because there's so much involved, it would have just added more complications to it, going, well, hold on a minute, we're going to have to hold up these 3 deals now because we've now thrown David Luiz in the mix. Yeah. And he's got to go and have a medical, and he's got to have photos, and then they've got to do an announcement video and all that. So they could have said, right, let's keep it separate. And Arsenal and Chelsea may have had an agreement.
Yeah.
But what did he come back from PSG for? 50 odd million?
Well, I think he went for 50. I think they bought him back for less than that. I think they might have bought him back for about 30 million quid. They bought him for 30, sold for 50, bought him back for 30. I always thought something was dodgy about that, to be fair. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, well,
allegedly,
I would have quite simply gone with a straight swap for Olivier. And you look at his price with add-ons, it works middle of the road about 22 million or something like that.
No, so, I understand.
You know, would they let him go for that?
Back to Spurs. Yeah, the money does bother me. That stadium's costing a lot of money. It's going to be great. But what bothers me more about Spurs is Levy needs now to conscientiously keep this squad together, because if we lose Kane, if we lose Dele Alli, these players are so. Or Kane is. How can you replace him? Who are you going to replace? He might be worth. But if somebody comes in with a Real Madrid comes in with a 200 million bid, he's going to go.
This is the thing. Welcome to our world when we move to the Emirates. Because I look at our team around about the 2008 era. 2 years after we got to a Champions League final, when we had the likes of Fabregas, Nasri, players like that, and we had Adebayor come along and had an amazing season. And we should have won the league. And I still think that the Eduardo injury...
Yeah, the team... I remember that season.
But this was the thing. And then what happened then was, because we didn't capitalise on that moment, where we would have then been able to move on and build with that, because you go into that transfer window after that season as champions, players want to come to you.
It's different, yeah, of course.
You know,
it is.
and it's and then what happened then was Nasri went bye-bye, and Adebayor went bye-bye, and Fabregas, and then they all broke up. And the problem with Tottenham is that the longer they don't have trophies, then players, it doesn't matter what they say in public about how happy they are and everything. Then players, if you do not want to look back on your career and see trophies, you're in the wrong profession.
No, I agree. I agree. I think any Spurs fan, when I hear this sort of, I get the chance, he's one of our own and all of this, it's fine. But for me, Harry Kane will get to a point, I believe, and money will play a part, but there is that element of, does he want to be that player who breaks Alan Shearer's goal-scoring record, smashes England's goal-scoring record? He could do that, but then walks away with not one trophy, or maybe just one League Cup. Maybe, if he's happy with that, as you say, maybe he's in the wrong profession, maybe there's some honour in that. But for me, I would want to see him be ambitious. Spurs need to buy players. They need to be able to attract and keep hold of their talent, because when that squad starts to fall apart...
With Bale, we got how much for Bale? 100 million?
Somewhere in that region.
How many years ago was that now? I've almost...
Four
or five,
something like that.
And we bought a plethora of averageness.
Yeah, the only one that's actually shone out of all that is probably Eriksen. Out of that bunch.
Well, Paulinho has, but he had to leave and then come
back
and
again.
then go to Barcelona.
You know what I mean? But
that's a great example of a player comes to England, can't adapt to British football, but then he's actually brilliant elsewhere. Man United had it with Diego Forlan. You know, couldn't buy a goal really in England. 2 against at Anfield, which was great, and then goes to La Liga and his top goal scorer like 2 out of the next 3 seasons. You would never have expected that. Just to let you all know as well, we are obviously going to give you updates on the Premier League games tonight. Man United versus Spurs at Wembley is about to kick off as now. I thought obviously you've got Spurs and Man United fans here. We know we want to win.
I'll tell you what, let's hope it's as attractive as the Swansea-Arsenal game. Because that was abysmal, wasn't it? That actually was a good game to watch. I enjoyed that.
Remember as well, ladies and gentlemen, you can give us a call. There's a call coming. Let's give this a...
Oh, it could be Gareth Bale.
Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name, buddy?
Matthew.
Hello, Matthew. Who do you support?
Arsenal.
Arsenal. What do you want to tell us? What do you want to say?
What I want to say is, the people who are saying, oh, Giroud, why should we sell him, Chelsea? You weren't saying that when you wanted him to leave and you thought he was a £10 million lamppost, whatever people were calling him. And I just think it's just really pathetic, really.
Do you think... Yeah, go on.
He's just one of the top 5 or top 10 strikers in the world. Let's enjoy it. Let's enjoy it and see what we can do in like next game. See, this could be the beginning of something new, innit?
Do you think that there's a lot of people out there, whether they're pretending to be... You get a lot of people that pretend to be Arsenal fans online. You must have seen those people. Do you think people are having a go at the sale of Olivier Giroud just to try and mock fun at Arsenal, to create a little bit of banter? Because as you say, there was nobody saying that he was a top-class player up until maybe like 3 or 4 hours ago.
Yeah, it's true. Like, if he didn't go to Chelsea, then obviously people would be less angry. But because we should have sold him to a rival club.
But if you don't rate him, you shouldn't be bothered who you sell him to.
Yeah, and that's the thing, I'm not. I have my thoughts as to why Olivier Giroud went to Chelsea and stayed in London. And,
no, what's those?
Well,
come on,
yeah,
DT, you know something. I know nothing about Arsenal.
At the end of the day, if Olivier Giroud would have kept it in his pants 4 years ago, then he wouldn't be in this situation now. And I think that his decision... No, he ain't allegedly, because he even came out and done a tweet saying, I'm sorry to my wife, I'm sorry to the manager and the club and the fans and everything
Spurs
else.
have scored after 30 seconds.
Oh, Eriksen,
get in there. Seconds. Ah, 10 seconds.
The Alexis Sanchez effect.
It was Sanchez that lost possession.
No, please tell me it was.
It was Sanchez. Sanchez lost possession.
Oh my God, it was.
Alexis, oh my God.
I never thought
I would actually be laughing.
I'm going to see the replay on this. We will explain what happened. Then
why is Gareth Bale in goal for United?
Oh my God, Alexis, it is because the camera's all back from kickoff.
What happened here?
I don't know. Oh, there we go.
So the ball goes long.
Vertonghen long ball.
Harry Kane
wins it.
Well, that's not Alexis Sanchez's fault. The camera's just panned to him.
Well, let's blame him anyway.
That was a little bit lucky, wasn't it? A little bit fortuitous by Dele.
No, I'll tell you what it was. Alexis didn't shut down the guy that played the long ball.
Yeah, he didn't shut down.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Doesn't have enough work ethic.
No, lazy.
1-0 to Spurs.
And you wonder why we paid all the money to Mesut Ozil.
Lazy. I've never heard an Arsenal fan call, come on, here we go. Let's get some sour grapes in here for these boys. We know one thing about him, he's not lazy, but he's made the game interesting now.
Is this lad still hanging on the phone?
No, he's gone, but thank you very, very much for your call.
Oh, what a goal.
I am not just going to contract the game.
Technically, that's classed as a misplaced pass by Alexis.
Yeah, we could get really about these things.
This is brilliant.
There we go. On Ozil, though, signing his new deal today, same amount of money as Alexis Sanchez, £350,000 per week.
Question, what was he on before today?
170,
Yeah,
80.
That's a good pay rise.
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
I might need to speak to Robbie.
Yeah.
Cool. We're going to come back to talk about Ozil in a minute. We have got a video from Flex from the United stand that we're going to play for you right now, so enjoy.
So as you know, it's transfer deadline day. We've done the best bit of business for us with Alexis Sanchez. And it's not looking like we're going to get anyone else. I know Manchester City pulled out of the bid for Mahrez. Could we get a little sneaky Mahrez in there? That'll probably be being a bit greedy, and we don't really need him, to be honest with you. So we're happy with the business that we've managed to do. So we're looking good. We're looking good. I think we didn't even expect to get Alexis Sanchez. Ozil's obviously committed his future to Arsenal, so no hope there. But we're good, you know, we're good. Alexis Sanchez starts the game tonight, and I can see him doing some stuff tonight, and I think we'll come away with the win. So in terms of our transfer window, you know, to get a player like Alexis Sanchez through the door, when, let's face it, we didn't think any of us was actually in for him, is a plus. It's a plus. So we've got him. He starts tonight. We won't be doing any more business. I can't see it happening, but we're happy. We're 6 months ahead of schedule for the summer planning. So bring it on, guys.
Thank you very much there, Flex, for your views. Obviously recorded before this. Man United has had a chance opening Spurs up. It's an interesting one. But you were just saying, Dad, before we cut off there, massive pay rise for Alexis Sanchez.
Huge pay rise. I mean, listen, I rate the guy. When he's on song, I'd have him in any midfield team anywhere in the world. I think he's that good. But his consistency and his work rate over a period of time has to be questioned. What do you think, DT? I mean, you watch the guy much more than me.
I don't rate him at all. I think he's awful.
So why?
No, do you know what? It's like it was hard to lose him, especially hard to lose him to Manchester United, when, you know, we had already accepted that he was going to Man City.
Cool.
We'd already got that in our head, sort of thing. But you know what? These signings, and I've spoken to a lot of Arsenal fans, they have really softened the blow.
Of course.
To the point where you are going...
But that's what you have to do. Look, I always go back to this. When Man United sold Cristiano Ronaldo and lost Carlos Tevez in the same season, the fact we replaced him with Michael Owen, Valencia and Obertan, it was gutting. And you need to go out and buy big when you sell somebody big.
Yeah.
Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name, buddy?
Hello?
Hello. What's your name?
Is this on TV?
Yes, mate.
Hello?
Yeah, it is. You are. You're live on the air now. What's your name?
Ozil! Signed a new contract, and we love it. We love it. Come on, we have such. Oh my God! Aubameyang! We got from Harrow. Hey, Jim.
What team do you support?
We got Cardi B. Yeah, we're gassed about Aubameyang and Ozil. Double, 2 birds, 1 stone, everything. Alright, come on! All the man them, free Santi, free Sammy, every man.
Brilliant.
Bomba clap on your right, bomba clap.
It's like loads of mini troopses.
Yeah, I thought it was Blazing Squad, like reincarnated there. I really did. Boys,
the Arsenal squad. We love Arsenal. Arsenal till we die.
Does this guarantee you victory in the Europa League?
Huh?
Do these signings guarantee Arsenal victory in the Europa League? Do you reckon they'll go further in the competition now?
No, but I'm telling you, next season is going to be a madness.
What, you've given up on this season? You've still got 13 games to go.
This season, Aubameyang, I don't care what he does. You might get David Luiz as well. Oh, what about that one? David Luiz as well.
Oh, you need a new hairdresser at the Emirates end.
They're at me.
Yeah, boys, thank you very much for your call.
Cheers, lad! Come on, Arsenal! Up the club!
I've just got this vision of them all in a phone box. They put 20p in a little phone box. Just, yeah!
Bomber Club!
Or one of their mums is downstairs
I've
going
got a vision of
mental.
them all sitting to try and see if anybody did have a 20p in their pocket. Come on.
Oh.
Blimey.
Yeah, goal again. Yeah, they were happy.
Yeah, well, but this is the thing. This is what signings does.
Yeah.
And this is what we've been crying out as Arsenal fans for.
But you do need now to go on and win that next game because that game shouldn't have, they're saying the goal shouldn't have counted because Harry Kane was across the line at kickoff. Just being pernickety, that's what Graham Poll said. Anyway, Arsenal have to go and win the game. Don't all this excitement. You go into your next game. If you go and lose 2-0 or you get beaten.
Who you got the weekend?
Everton at home.
At home, well,
You should beat
Yeah,
them.
I'm not worried about our home form. It's our away form. It's shocking.
Away form is. I've never
Our
seen
home
it
form.
so
2-1 to Everton, Theo Walcott gets a brace.
Mate, don't. Do you know what I mean? It's
Electrifying
like...
race past Mertesacker up.
No, Mertesacker, he's finished now. Mertesacker is
Can you
here.
imagine? Oh, you imagine that though. You lose 2-1 to him at the Emirates and Theo gets the winner.
Yeah. Oh, who's that in there? Is that Martial?
Yeah.
I'll tell you something. Manchester United, though, they seem to be cutting Spurs open
Yeah,
quite
I
a
agree.
bit.
It's a bit worrying.
But that early goal just changes the dynamic of the game, doesn't it? Man United.
Yeah. Man United have got to come out a lot more, whereas
Yeah.
they would have probably been defending for the first 89 minutes.
Wenger still chasing deadline day raid on Louise.
That could be the big one. You know, we're saying there's nothing big that's sort of on the horizon. That could be the one, you know.
I still think we've had. I'd push it as far as to say we've had the best window out of everyone in January.
Well, I was going to ask that. You've already said it, Arsenal. Who do you think, Dad, in terms of the major teams out there? No disrespect, like a lot of the other Premier League teams have signed okay players, but top 6, top 7 sides. Who you reckon had the best window?
Spurs. Because
Why?
they've bought one player that they wanted, and I think that he's going to fit in well, and I think we're going to finish top 4 because of it. I think we should get rid of whoever that was.
That cross was awful, wasn't it?
No,
The ball might land in here in a minute. We're not far from Wembley.
To be fair, I think Arsenal have had a good day today, a very good day, and I actually think Chelsea ain't had a bad time either. I think picking Ross Barkley up for 15 million, if he can get fit, that's a steal.
Chelsea ain't done bad. Again, if Barkley can get back to the play was a few years ago, it's a cheap player.
Well, they were talking about 50 million last year.
Yeah.
The young lad, the Italian Palmieri, I think his name is. That's the only one I'm concerned about. He's a good defender, but he's just back from a cruciate ligament injury. Like, he hasn't played much football since that injury. You never know how that man's knee's going to be for a year or so.
They've all done all right.
Do you know what? Yeah, City are being City
are taking a piss. Like, they get a man injured for 6 games and
then they're like, oh look, we've injured someone. Let's just go and spend 60 odd million on someone. So I'm glad that hasn't actually gone. Well, we don't know if it might come back to life in the last parts of the window. But the reason why I say that we've had the best window is because we went into January in complete and utter chaos. With the fact of, was Ozil going to go? Was Alexis going to go? We had no bargaining power. With either player, it was 15, 20 million.
And
if we were going to sell them.
You ain't spent no money.
No, and then we ended up getting rid of Alexis and getting Mkhitaryan, who by himself is a 30, 35 million pound player. You know, you've got to remember he still had 3 years left on his contract at Manchester United, where Alexis had half a season, 5 months effectively. I think Mkhitaryan suits more Arsenal style of play than Manchester United.
No, I've said that in the video.
You know, and if Arsenal would have signed Mkhitaryan a year and a half ago from Dortmund, we'd all be running around the streets going mad, going, look at it, because 40 assists in a season and stuff like that. He was superb.
You need sometimes these players, as you say, you've seen it with. When you get a change of manager at a club, certain players step up. Look at Arnautovic with David Moyes as an example. These things happen, and the same could go for.
But then you even look at Jose Mourinho, and the players that he sold because they haven't worked under him: De Bruyne, Salah, Lukaku originally. And look, and 2 of those are possibly 2 of the best in the Premier League.
Walcott scores for Everton.
Really?
Theo Walcott scores on his debut, 25 minutes in.
Wow.
It's an interesting, and do you know what though? Sometimes though, change is as good as a rest. I looked at Wayne Rooney as an example. He had a really poor last 3 years. Goes to Everton, who've had a bad season. Man's banged in 10 league goals. We know Rooney's past his best, but sometimes that change can just rejuvenate you a little bit, give you that new lease of life.
If Arsenal found themselves a striker today that can score 25 goals in the Premiership every season, then they're going to be there or thereabouts. And I think that's been your problem. You haven't replaced any of your... You've had all these quality strikers in, like Thierry Henry, world class. You've never replaced them.
Yeah.
You've tried, and everything's flopped.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the whole, you can't disagree with that. I don't think.
We know that, and that's the one thing we've missed because, again, we go back to Olivier Giroud. He's never scored 20 Premier League goals in a season.
No, I think he got 25.
He's hardly played enough time to do that.
No, but in the first 5 seasons, he was our first choice striker for 4 of those.
Yeah, I think he got 25 in all comps one year, didn't he? But
Yeah.
that was about it. Spurs are going in again here. So it's really, if you're watching the Man United Spurs
It's really
game,
open.
It's really open. It's really, really good.
That's really different for a Manchester United side.
Man United's transfer window. A lot of Man United fans will be, whether they've had the best or not, I don't think Man United fans care. I think they're really happy with what's gone on. Obviously, getting Alexis Sanchez, we know how good the man is. From your point of view, how do you think he can improve? How do you think he'll improve Man United?
It'll probably help him out in the wing back role.
Yeah.
In the defending and stuff. But
Yeah, he said Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw's going to go now.
you know,
Sanchez
and it's. I don't know. It's a weird one. I still think that he's gone for. I genuinely believe,
Money?
right? Yeah, money.
What was he on at the Emirates?
160,
And
70,000.
what now?
Double that.
I'll ask you a question though, right? Man United and Arsenal, would you say they're about the same ability of winning major trophies right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my question would be, if Sanchez has gone to Man United for exactly the same money that Ozil just re-signed for Arsenal on, is Ozil's reason just money then? Because
Ozil obviously believes that we can go to another level.
why
Whereas
don't Sanchez believe that?
who knows? Only he will be able to tell that. It's, we don't ever get to know why players leave clubs and stuff. But it's just, what's telling for me is that we heard a lot before Sanchez left about problems in the dressing room, bad egg problems, rows, and everything else. What was key for me was that Alexis left, and not a single player went onto Twitter or anything and wished him well. We sold Coquelin. All the players were coming out, wishing him well. Sold Walcott. All the players were coming out, wishing him well. The club as well, Arsenal.
Yeah.
They done like a video montage for Theo Walcott. They done like a video montage for Francis Coquelin.
Yeah.
All
Nothing
Alexis got was a little passing message. They put up the whole Mkhitaryan thing, and then they put, and Alexis Sanchez goes to Man United as part of the deal.
Yeah.
It was like,
There was
and
nothing
then
in it.
you saw the tweets from El Neni as well.
Yeah.
Saying about how the team's more together and stuff.
And it's an interesting one because I remember reading this story about there was a big draft pick in America in the NFL, and there was this quarterback coming out of college who everybody wanted, and the guy had the first pick, and at the last minute he substituted his first pick for like the next 4 years first picks for this team right down the bottom. They come in and they took this quarterback, and the guys like management at the NFL club were going mental. Why didn't you get him? We wanted this quarterback, blah, blah, blah. And he says, I heard some reports that he had his 21st birthday at college and there was this big fight and the police come, everyone got arrested. And he looked at the arrest sheet and not one of the guy's American football teammates turned up to his 21st birthday party. And he was like, based on that, I felt this guy had a problem, which meant I didn't want him within my setup at my NFL team because the kid's clearly a bit of an idiot. And maybe that's the situation with Alexis Sanchez.
Maybe.
We're going to take this call and then we've got a video from Tottenham TV. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
My name's Kieran. How you all doing?
I'm very well, mate. Arsenal fan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, thought so. I know you're a regular caller. What do you want to say, buddy?
I'm happy with this window. Overall, I'm happy with it.
Why? What is it for you?
Aubameyang is a world-class striker and he's in.
Yep.
We've got Ozil down to a new contract who is brilliant for us. Mkhitaryan's come in and we've got Sanchez out who didn't even want to play for the club anyway.
Yeah, okay, sorry, yeah, microphone was turned off. Keep talking, buddy. Yeah, no, so let's rephrase what you said so everybody listening can hear. So Aubameyang's world-class and you've got him in. You're obviously clearly happy with Henrik Mkhitaryan. You could still sign David Luiz or Johnny Evans this evening. Would that sort of tip it off as one of your best windows in a while?
Definitely. I was saying yesterday at half-time during the game, our defence is weak and it's disappointing to watch. David Luiz coming in or even Johnny Evans, I'll be happy with either one because they're going to strengthen the defence to no end.
No, I completely get that. Thank you very, very much. We're going to wrap that call up because we've got to do a few bits and pieces, but thank you very much, Kieran, for your call.
All right, cheers.
Cheers, thank you. we have another video to play for you guys now. It's going to be on for about a minute or so, so enjoy it. We'll be back in a little moment. Thank you.
When he runs down the wing, all the years start to sing Lucas Moura. What's going on? What's going on, people?
Right, Lucas Moura, I think he's a great signing. I think I'm absolutely buzzing for him to get in the side. He's got the pace, he's got the dribbling ability, he's got all the qualities that I think we're missing. And for the fee as well, 25 million.
It's a steal in the current market, isn't it?
25-year-old Brazilian international. He's won 4 league titles with PSG.
And you heard Neymar's comments about him today.
Yeah, he said if it was up to him, he would still be at PSG.
Exactly.
So that just shows you all you need to know about the player that we're getting. And I think it's going to be a really, really positive move for the club. And he gives us really good squad depth.
And then, yeah, giving us that pace that we're missing at the moment.
100%.
And especially with Lamela not like being fully fit or like keep getting injured and stuff, it gives us that extra option. Great signing.
Great signing.
Well, it remains to be seen, but we'll see.
Yeah, but I'm very excited about the signing.
Yeah, me too. And I said in the summer we should sign him because his wages are relatively low. He wanted out of PSG, PSG wanted out. It was kind of a match made in heaven, really.
Yeah, we're winning for everyone.
Yeah.
All right, absolutely fantastic. Come on, you Spurs.
More happy supporters, Spurs fans, obviously happy with Lucas Moura coming in. They're beating Manchester United 1-0 right now, so all things appear to be great in North London, or North West London as it be at the moment. There's only one team in North London right now because you lot have moved out for a bit.
Finchley and Wingate FC.
There we go. Obviously, you guys can phone up and ask any questions you want of us. If you've got anything you want to ask DT, anything you want to ask my dad Jeff, feel free to do it. 0203 606 0315. We're going to get the One Football app up on the screen for you now as well, and look at some of the news that's coming through on there. I'm actually going to turn the brightness of my screen up because I can barely see this. Top news at the moment is obviously the announcement of Lucas Moura completes his Spurs move, as you can see. Chelsea still Arsenal signing of Giroud. The big one for me today, do you think, I mean, look at this one here, Man City call off the Riyad Mahrez hunt. I know they've signed Laporte, which is very good, but they've gone after 2 attacking players and pulled out of it because the clubs are asking, in their eyes, for too much money. When you hear Man City complain about being charged too much, do you think that's a little bit sort of pot kettle black, and they're being sort of trying to take some moral high ground that they can never climb to?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't feel
When have
sorry
they
for
ever
them.
complained? How many times have they played stupid money for the players that they've bought?
Well, every time. I mean, I know they come out with comments such as, well, we paid only like 50 million or so for De Bruyne, and now you're getting players go for 75. But what they're factoring out of that is inflation within football has gone up by about 300% since then with the new TV money. If you bought a Kevin De Bruyne now, you're looking at 120 million pound with what he's delivered.
Yeah.
If you sign Aguero now, for me, it's not about what you pay for a player; it's their valuation. And it's a bit like with Chelsea fans moaning about spending money. I mean, when you spend 21 million pounds in 2005 on Sean Wright-Phillips, I don't think you ever get the right to complain about other teams spending big money ever again.
Yeah, I don't feel sorry for him.
No, nor do I.
So, here you go, reap what you sow.
And there we go, Man City fans. All 5 of you watching from around the UK.
By the way, did I just see there that Southampton are losing again?
Yeah.
Bottom of the league.
I think they're bottom now, Southampton, after Swansea won last night.
And losing at home at
Jesus Christ.
Brighton?
Absolute pair of mugs. We have to bring that up again, don't you? Can we get off the subject of Swansea, please?
I had some videos in, but there's new viewers tonight. How are you feeling 24 hours later?
I'm absolutely fuming because, for a starter, I don't think that we should be leaving the country to go to a Premier League match. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yes, Wales, isn't it? Yeah.
I actually had to pay to get into Wales.
We have to go to the Severn Bridge.
Oh, but they are doing away with the toll. You have to pay to get into Kent, so
Well,
why do you have to pay to get into Wales?
Well, no, that's what I mean. Why are you paying to get into Wales? It's like,
We pay road
seriously?
tax.
Is it?
Road tax, isn't
You
it?
should not have to pay to get into Wales. I can't even read the street signs.
Oh, yeah,
I can bet they look like troops had wrote them. One ring blood man. It's like, what
Did
the
he
hell
understand
is
it?
that?
Though? Can you imagine if he's like, I'm fluent
Mate,
in Welsh.
He could only just about understand English.
Martial, a great run, and he shot then. Again, another shot's gone over the stadium.
Martial, well over. Wow, that actually hit the Wembley arch.
It did. That was really bad.
Yeah, that was...
I know Six Nations starts this weekend.
It's a shame that wasn't Alexis because I could
Manchester
have...
City have just gone 1-0 up at home to West Brom. Fernandinho scores.
Oh, I bet them £5 are happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe Sturridge will equalise.
Maybe.
He's ex-City, isn't he? That was his first club. Is it City,
Yeah,
Chelsea,
he's
Liverpool?
played for all,
He's
like,
gone
been
around.
around.
apart from Arsenal.
Yeah,
and Tottenham.
and Man United.
Yeah, and I wanted Spurs
but
to
he's
sign him when he
Chelsea,
when he
Man
left.
City, Liverpool.
He's another one of those. How many have you seen like that? Those players that are
just
so
gets
good
in-
until they get injured.
Oh, look, I saw that. I see Rooney penalty, and I thought, no, but
It's Adam Rooney.
Adam.
I don't think he's related.
Wouldn't want to be.
Cool. We have another phone call coming through in a
Really?
moment.
Why isn't it flashing?
It'll come through in a sec. There
Aha.
it is.
Are you psychic?
Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
Bobby. Hi, how are you?
Hello, Bobby.
Hi, yeah.
I had a cat called Bobby. Anyway, how are you?
I'm alright, thanks.
Good, good. Are you Arsenal fan, Man United, Spurs?
Arsenal all the way.
Nice, nice. Any messages for DT? You lot always talk about him when he's not here. When he's here tonight, no one's really mentioned him.
Yeah, I've got a question for DT. In
Sweet.
fact, I wanted to ask him, what is his ideal centre-back that we could sign? Who is it?
It would be the one from Roma.
Manolas.
Yeah.
Oh, Manolas, yeah.
Yeah, it would be. But if you're talking now and what we got left, 3 hours or so, two and a bit hours.
Yeah.
I suppose David Luiz would be the one where you can say, yeah, we've had a real good window. But
Would you be happy if you got Johnny Evans? Or is he just papering over cracks?
it's not really inspiring,
Yeah.
shall we say? And it feels like another Man United cast-off. We had one of them in Sylvester.
Yeah.
No more thanks.
Yeah, he was honestly like, I don't believe in conspiracy theories, but sometimes I remember that the Mikel Sylvester one, I was like, I swear Fergie sent him in there. So like inside information and just to make mistakes in games. It was
He was shocking.
Yeah.
So, yeah, ideal world it would be the guy from Roma, but I think that that's the kind of transfer that you need to be dealing with in the summer. And maybe it's
Do you
something
not
we
think
will
that
explore.
Johnny Evans is good enough?
No, I don't.
do you know what? I think Johnny Evans is better than someone you've got, but we spoke about
He's
levels.
got the experience.
Is he going to take Arsenal to that next
Yeah.
level? Oh, Harry Kane's how unlucky. The way Harry Kane gets shots out from under his feet is ridiculous.
Didn't hit that with an
He didn't, but he just gets shots out. You
He's a very good dribbler.
when he talks. No offense, Mr. Kane or anyone watching, but you do talk through your nose a little bit. Yeah, he does. He does. He can only breathe with his mouth open.
And you'd have Kane at the Emirates.
You would.
Well, yeah, because he is an Arsenal fan.
He was. Is.
You know, the only time he's ever seen the League One was when he was celebrating it after we won it at White Hart Lane. 2004.
Do you know what? The way I remember watching him play at Leighton Orient.
14 years.
Ah, I was so young then.
14. Did you have kids then?
Yeah, one.
One. Yeah,
My eldest. He was like 3-4 years old.
That's when you know like time flies so much. Like I mean, it hasn't been as long for me. What last won the league in 2013. Like, but since then
Well, it's like what you said to me today on the way up here. Dad, you're going to be one of the oldest, if not the oldest. There's going to be people there today that when they were born, Chelsea were a big club.
Yeah, like youngsters now that are like 20, 21,
And
22, they only remember Chelsea being big. Like, they won't remember Chelsea that we all remember Chelsea when they didn't win anything.
I remember United going down. And Spurs going down.
I remember Man United when they tried selling their club to Michael Knighton.
Oh, God, yeah, with the keepy up.
And you played Arsenal on the first game of the season at Old Trafford, and I was there. And they brought him out on the pitch, and he stood in the centre circle doing keepy ups and stuff.
Yeah, I've seen the video footage of that. I'm so glad.
So if I, you know, like I said, if I could tell you about, I've been to Old Trafford when the Stretford end's empty.
Oh, mate, and that's
you know, people went, oh, misplaced pass by, who's that guy? Asked the little Chilean.
Great passing by the Chilean. No one there. Oh, God, so close again by Man United there.
Unlucky.
Looks like a really good... I know we're enjoying FanPark Live, but there's a part of me... Oh, Dele Alli.
All because of the misplaced pass by Alexis. See?
That was
awful.
Spurs on the counter-attack are looking dangerous. But that's where you need someone like a Lucas Moura, though, with blistering pace. I mean, Son's a good player.
Son is...
Theo Wilcock gets his second goal for Everton. 2 goals, Theo.
Wow.
Theo for England.
Emirates reject.
Wow. There you go. The English Lucas Moura.
Good signing in the end, then. Got another call coming in, gentlemen. In a sec, here we go. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name, buddy?
Hi, Noah.
Hello, Noah.
Hello, Noah.
You calling from your art?
No, but his formation would be interesting, wouldn't it? 2-2-2.
Jesus Christ.
What do you want to say, Noah?
I want to speak to DT for a bit.
Go on, speak to DT. We're going to watch the football while you do it.
How you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, what do you want to ask me?
Is it gonna run?
I just really want to know why you just don't bring your banner out now again.
Why I won't bring the banner out again? Do you know what? It's right now. It's all about timing with protests and banners and stuff like that. There is a protest planned for before the Everton game this weekend.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with me. I personally think it's the wrong time because we're on a high in terms of what's happened in the transfer window, and it's about timing. And I feel that what you could do is that you could end up making some of the fans that do want Wenger out and, you know, but are just, you know, kind of, or maybe sitting on the fence
a bit,
kind of push them back on that side and feel how ungrateful you are, sort of thing.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And it's about timing. And
you can't bring a new manager in just after they've signed all their new players
no,
that they want. That's mad.
At the end of the day, we've got to give it, me personally, I will give it time and I will watch how things pan out over the next few weeks or so. And then if we've brought these players in, it makes it more difficult for Arsene in terms of staying on if he doesn't start producing the results.
Yeah.
Because if we put in performances like Swansea with Aubameyang in the team and Mkhitaryan in the team, then what excuses does he have?
Yeah,
he doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
And then that's when you then need to turn around and start saying, right.
Well, that's the acid test, isn't it?
Yeah.
You get the quality players in. If they still don't perform, you know, you get the Alexis Sanchez bad for the dressing room. He's out. You bring in the players you want. But I think what you'll have to do with this, you're going to have to give him another year or so because you've got to get these guys to settle. You need a.
Oh!
2-0.
Phil Jones puts it in the back of the net.
Alexis Sanchez, own goal.
Yay! But
and that was so poor.
But that was
Jones.
a good cross by Trippier.
I'm surprised that.
Well, I don't think you can really blame him.
I'm wondering whether Jesse Lingard's there, Millie rocking. Oh no, he is a little.
No, he's still on the halfway line with his hands in the air, appealing for handball.
Yeah, I wonder how Alexis feels.
Such poor defending there.
No, well, maybe you're right. I'd like to see it again.
He's using the wrong foot. You use your left foot there.
But you see, this is what Alexis has got to deal with now.
That's poor.
That's really poor.
That's
left
really
foot.
poor.
That's a good goal.
At the end of the day, Alexis goes to Wembley.
Oh, that's
Do you know what?
and he's
Do you know what?
struggling.
Do you know what? If a striker finished it like that, you'd actually go, wow. I mean, it's almost impossible. He goes to clear it with his foot, and it hits his heel and flies in. Two bits of poor defending by Man United. No matter how good your play going forward is, 2-0 down away at Spurs, the game's
You're just
over.
never going to hear the end of this now. Tottenham think they're going to win the World Cup now.
No, we're going to win.
Yes, mate.
Oh, the boy. No,
sorry, mate.
Sorry,
mate. We were just watching this and laughing at Manchester United.
Fine. I'm watching it as well.
So
just a couple more things.
Yeah, go on.
I'm going to speak to you again. I've got for you. Who's going to make the biggest impact at Arsenal? Aubameyang or Mkhitaryan?
That's a good question, actually. I think Aubameyang would probably make more of the impression because he's the one that you want to be scoring the goals. So if he's winning you matches,
you remember that.
How's Aubameyang been lining up at Dortmund? Has he been playing? They've been playing 4-4-2 there.
Yeah, kind of. But this season's been very weird for him because he wanted to go in the summer. He done a statement earlier on today, thanking the Dortmund fans and everything, and he actually said in the statement that he wanted to go in the summer.
Yeah.
And the last few months have been really difficult. But it's exciting at the end of the day. And this is where Arsene Wenger, like I said, he's got to now go out there and find the right formation to suit these players. And there's no more excuses. He can't sit there and say, oh, well, I've only got Yaya Sanogo. Oh, well, I've only got, Javinho and stuff like that.
You've got a quality player now, and that's it,
serious talent at your disposal. And if you still can't get the results, then all it does is emphasise that you are the problem.
But surely Wenger's already got in his mind what his team for...
You'd hope so.
You'd hope so. I actually don't think, in my mind, that Aubameyang will start against Everton.
Well, you can understand that.
Yeah, I can understand, but
he'll be on the bench.
But on the selfish side, as a fan, I'm dying to see him.
You'd want to see him in a home game, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. And I go by the fact that Mkhitaryan was on the bench last night. I think Mkhitaryan will start against Everton. But it would be just such a because we did have that down result last night and that feeling of like, oh, same old shit. And then you go into that Everton game. You imagine going into that Everton game and you look at the lineup and Jack Wilshere's back, Mesut Ozil's playing, Lacazette, Aubameyang, Mkhitaryan.
That's just, suddenly you've got this group of players that want to be there. That's very different from having quality players who want to leave.
Exactly.
You hope that Ozil's head's then settled because he's now finally in the team. And Spurs are in again here. Another counter. Great cross. De Gea stops it. Jesus.
There you go.
Jesus. But no, I agree. Look, Noah, mate, we really do appreciate your call, mate. Thank you.
Wait, one more thing.
Oh, go on.
Okay?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. So this is one more question.
Yeah.
And it's whether when we play Everton, we're going to win, everyone's going to go, oh, we're all great again.
Yeah.
And then when we come back and then play our next away game against, I think, Ostersund, and then we win that, and then we lose our game against Tottenham, which hopefully we don't do because Tottenham are a piece of scum as far as I'm concerned.
Good lad.
Why would you say that?
Because he's been brought up the right way.
Why do Arsenal fans have to call each other scum?
Because that's the way we was brought up.
Well, then you was brought
anyway,
up
do you
wrong.
see one more thing?
Yeah.
No, that's the rivalry.
Call a Gooner or Arsenal scum ever.
You know what it is? It's like,
and I want to beat you more than any other team.
I can have very good conversations with Spurs fans. I've got friends that are Spurs fans, but when we talk about the rivalry and that between the club, that's when it gets that little bit of...
Do you know what it is? I think it's a generational thing in terms of, like, I would say that about a Liverpool fan. I don't literally mean he's a scumbag. I'm just talking about his football allegiance. Do you know what I mean? Like, my brothers are Liverpool fans, but on match day, like, it's why I'm so desperate for my son to support Man United, because I don't want to, at least 2 days a year, hate him.
Yeah.
That's my problem, because for 2 days of the year, he ain't my son.
That's
Simple
wrong.
as that.
That's wrong.
I can't help it. And my dad didn't bring me up like that. My dad, actually, Spurs fan.
I've got 5 sons and none of them support Spurs.
I'm lucky
He didn't force any of us.
I'm lucky because all of my family
Lee's
support
an Arsenal fan
Arsenal.
over there is like, good.
All of my family are Arsenal. Every single member of my family have a name to do with an Arsenal player.
What's yours?
All of them. My real name's Liam. I'm named after Liam Brady.
Right.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, hello, Noah. Sorry, mate.
Noah's still here.
He's finished his arc.
Noah's still here.
One more thing.
Go on then, quickly.
I just want to publicise one thing, and this might be a bit cheeky. I've got a YouTube channel inspired by DT. It's called Mr. Junior Gunner. Guys, go and subscribe to it.
There you go.
Mr. Junior.
Inspired by me.
You inspired a child.
There you go.
Well
there you
done.
go. Thank you.
Inspired by DT. Love your channel, DT.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your support. I'll make sure that I'll send that money in your bank account later.
Question, DT.
Cheers, Noah. Thanks, mate.
Yeah.
The girls in your family, where's their name collection?
My brother was the first one to have a girl in the family, and she's what, 23 now, and we were all actually winding him up, saying, "Good luck. What are you gonna do?" No, he called her Kelly Marie Lenezra. Lenezra's Arsenal spelt backwards.
Ah, that's some serious dedication. I mean, the most I did, I had all my boy cats that I owned were named after Man United legends like Wazza for Rooney.
Now, can I let you in on a story though? Can I let you in on a story?
Kids, wow.
My youngest son, when obviously we didn't know whether he was a boy or girl, we never found out what the sex was or anything like that. I actually said if he was a girl, I wanted to call her Alexis.
Wow, can you imagine how you feel now?
Yeah. I wouldn't have a daughter. She'd be disowned. Or we'd be going deep.
So imagine if you did though, and then she married a man with the surname Sanchez.
No, can't have that. But no, that'd be deep hole.
We've got another caller here, boys. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
Thomas.
Hello, Thomas. Who do you support?
Arsenal.
Arsenal, nice. What's on your mind this evening?
I want to ask DT a question.
Fire away.
Because we mainly need defenders, but we need a defensive midfielder and a goalie. Which kind of players would you have that we could bring?
At the start of the January transfer window, I was all for what was his name? The one at Sevilla that used to play for Stoke. Nzonzi. Yeah. I was all for him. Very physical presence, very different to what we've got. But then that kind of all petered out and went. And then, I don't know, in this market now, it's just kind of who's available, what kind of money do you have to spend? I still look at it and think that we could have got Kante before Chelsea.
Yeah, I mean, and he was, because he had that £24 million buyout clause as well. You're buying an £80-90 million player for a pittance, and that's
that's the thing. And then obviously things have gone a little bit cold this season on Seri.
Yeah, he's the lad from, is it Nice?
Nice, yeah. He's very Kante-alike.
But he's linked with everyone, isn't he? Like, depending what publication you read, it's Man United one week, then City. I mean, don't see why City need any more bloody players. It annoys me when I see their names linked to them.
But I tell you the player that I know that's just come on the transfer market and for the summer is one that's actually been linked with Manchester United, the Monaco player.
Oh, Fabinho.
Yeah,
Fabio or Fabinho, something like that. Yeah,
I rate him. He's really good.
He is good.
He's very Fernandinho-like.
So my dad's just waving at Alexis Sanchez and laughing at him while he's face cup on the camera.
Oh, can I join in with that?
He was looking very concerned.
You know Fernandinho at Manchester City, for all of the plaudits that, you know, your Agueros, your Sanes and De Bruyne and all that get, he's just...
But people forget, Man United had that for a long time with Michael Carrick. People just forget how good a player that he is because he doesn't do the step overs, doesn't score screamers, and they ignore that type of player. That's why England have been rubbish. We don't have players like that that keep games ticking over.
The best example for me would be at Barcelona at Busquets. When you look at everything that goes on in front of him, the guy just strolls around the pitch like he's in his back garden.
Yeah.
Well, this was like Wenger at Spurs last
year.
But
he is just as important to Barcelona as Messi, Suarez, etc.
And that's why
more so probably in some ways.
And do you know what? That's why I don't like things like Ballon or worst player, because I sit there and think, how can you compare Messi to David De Gea? How can you compare David De Gea to the best centre back in the world? It's so important. It's a team sport. You're not looking at boxers or tennis players.
Well, who's this getting a card?
What's going on?
Is it Sanchez? No. It's Phil Jones.
Really?
Phil
Looking
Jones
for that?
having a mare, isn't he?
Oh, I said it when the lineup came out, didn't I? Those two at centre backs, Smalling and Jones with a weak link.
Well, this is why England won't do any good if we've got people like him in the
They're not good enough.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a gentleman who sent us in a video. It's about 3 or 4 minutes long. So check that out. Arsenal fan, I believe? Yeah, Arsenal fan, I believe. So check it out. It's a few minutes long. We want your views and comments on it, and we'll be back. An Arsenal fan from the United States of America. Enjoy.
What's good, everybody in the football world? It's your boy Devin For Real coming to you from Atlanta, Georgia. It's transfer deadline day. It's like Christmas in January all over again for some of us, but for some of us it's also a day of horrors, and we'll talk about that later. Today is a beautiful day to be an Arsenal fan. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, PEA 14. He's going to wear the number of the king. He's coming to the Emirates to score goals with Lacazette, Mkhitaryan, his former teammate at Borussia Dortmund, and Mesut Ozil. That's the news of the day, re-signing through 2021. To play at the Emirates at Arsenal, it's been a good day. It's been a great window. Everybody was talking bad about Arsenal in the beginning with Sanchez leaving and the ill repute in the team, the distrust in the locker room, but it appears as though things have changed. Sven Mislintat, Mr. Diamond Eyes, our new scout, our new head of scouting at Arsenal, going in and getting the deals done, flying to Dortmund with Chief Executive Officer Ivan Gazidis. It's a good day to be an Arsenal fan. But we're not done yet. And supposedly there's some rumors out there that we've been talking to Schalke about Max Meyer, 22-year-old center mid, possibly a Santi Cazorla replacement. There's also rumors out there that we've been talking about Kostas Manolas. Everybody knows Arsenal needs a center back. I'm not sure about that one. I would love to see it happen. I know that Arsenal had a lot of interest in Kostas Manolas back in the day. Also, rumors that we talked to Chelsea about David Luiz, which brings me to Chelsea making their marquee signing of a striker, and it's from Arsenal. Olivier Giroud, the 31-year-old French international, leaves Arsenal after signing for Arsenal in 2012 for £12.5 million. Sad day. Sad to see Ali go. But you can't be a revisionist history person when you think about Olivier Giroud. He is a serviceable forward in the Premier League. He is a hold-up forward. He is a somebody who he is a man that you can expect to put a back on a center back and control play as the ball is sent to him. He's also got that meaty French forehead, that beautiful French forehead that puts so many goals away for Arsenal, and it will be sad to see him leave, but you have to be real. If he is the linchpin in a three-way cogging machine that brings you Pierre-Emerick Batman Aubameyang African Football Player of the Year, Bundesliga Footballer of the Year, if he is that linchpin that makes the Michy Batshuayi deal to Dortmund and Olivier Giroud to Chelsea, if he's the linchpin that makes that happen and he's willing to do it, you do it. And now, at Arsenal, you're talking about Lacazette, Mkhitaryan, Aubameyang, and Mesut Ozil, who has been rumored to, although it's been announced on every major outlet right now, he has apparently signed a contract extension that will keep him at Arsenal through the 2021 season. It's a good day to be a Gooner. Stay with us. Transfer deadline going up until about 11 p.m. British time. I'm here in Atlanta, so that's about 6 o'clock my time. And I'll be checking back in, hopefully with some news about Arsenal bringing in a center back. But as of right now, the big news, it's been pretty much the big news all of January. Aubameyang to Arsenal, Sanchez to Man United, Olivier Giroud to Chelsea, and Michy Batshuayi to Dortmund. So I'll be checking back in with the rest of the rumors of the day. Maybe it's Johnny Evans from West Brom. Maybe it's Kostas Manolis. Maybe it's David Luiz. Maybe it's nobody. But thanks for listening. Devin For Real, like and subscribe at Devin For Real on Twitter. Check out my music as well. Got a single coming out this Friday called Addiction. Got the band at www.lowowmusic.com. That's LEWOW music.com. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Hello, welcome back there. Love your views and opinions on that video there. It's nice to hear from somebody from the other side of the pond. Obviously, Arsenal Fan TV this week. We're out in New Orleans. What looked like a really good event. Even if you're not a Gooner, that looked fun. Why weren't you there?
It was my birthday.
Oh, he wasn't there because he was in Swansea.
No. It was my birthday, and obviously because we had the weekend off.
Yes. Why was that?
I can't remember. I think it was more to do with the fact that we decided to give other teams a chance in the FA Cup this year.
Well, this is true.
You know, we got a bit bored of winning it.
It's amazing that since it's been sponsored by the Emirates, you've won it 3 in like 4.5 years. I mean, someone would say that's a bit of a conspiracy.
Well, we let you have you know, a little.
Well,
do you know what annoyed me is that like you guys when you won it back to back, you went in front of us in terms of. Most teams that won it, we equalled you again, and then like a year later you win it. It was frustrating, but
yeah. So, but I just decided to have the weekend. I'd already planned the weekend with the family and the kids and everything else. So you have to. We go to every single game.
Mourinho's already walked off.
Yeah, that's what he does.
Does he do that all the time?
Yeah, when his team's not playing well enough, he'll do it.
Yeah, so you have to do it when you spend a lot of time travelling up and down the country like I do. You do have to. We make a lot of sacrifices.
I went Man United regularly for a long, long time, and I made the decision when my son Archie was born that I wasn't going to do that. So I don't look at it anyone who does in a bad way, but I respect the amount of time and energy you put into it because you must, especially away games, you must be getting up. Well, you don't even live in North London because you live in everything's a travel for you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's what I mean. It's like, even yesterday they decided obviously to stick us in Swansea, and then you have to travel up a lot earlier. I didn't get in until gone 3 o'clock in the morning, absolutely shattered, and then I'm up at the crack of dawn filming and doing bits and pieces.
That's a long old drive.
It was a really.
The thing is, even when you
drive.
go over that bridge and pay your £5, you've still got
a long way to go.
Yeah, it was really bad. But I obviously went back with Lee, and Lee was driving me last night, but his car was parked by Bicester Village.
Right.
So we had to go that way.
Oh, that's a diversion.
And then, massive diversion. Cheers, mate.
Is that free parking, Lee?
Yeah, something like that. And
what do you say to people that sort of? I know there's a lot of things out there on the internet, and I read some of it. Most of it I ignore because I just think you're idiots. But I know there's some people that believe you only go to all the games now because like you're paid to be on YouTube to do things. Like, you must have heard people think that.
I've heard it. Right? I've heard it. At the end of the day, I've been going to watch Arsenal since 1986-87 season.
And that's quite a while before YouTube was invented.
Yeah, it was. Well, I don't even think we had mobile phones then.
Do you know, I wish I could remember the name of the guy that I used to do some work with that used to run the Arsenal Travel Club.
Blimey.
I mean, I'm a big fat geezer. This was a big fat geezer as well. I just can't.
No, when I was growing up and going to football matches, it was passed on to me by my dad and my 3 brothers. And back then, you never used to have to get tickets for a match. You turn up to the stadium on the day, and you pay £2 to get in.
Yeah.
We went to Anfield for the 1989.
Wow.
And that one we had tickets, but what people don't realise is that originally that tie was to be played on the like further forward, but obviously because of Hillsborough, the game got moved.
Right, yeah.
So the ticket still has the original date on it when the tie was supposed to be.
Right.
It got moved to a Friday night, and it cost £2.50.
Wow.
£2.50.
It's amazing the inflation in terms of what's going on in football.
Mm.
Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name, my friend?
Hello, this is Mohammed. I'm calling from Iran.
Hello. Wow, all the way from Iran. How you doing, Mohammed?
Yeah, very good. How about you?
I'm very, very well. What team do you support?
I'm so excited to be there with you guys. This is actually 12 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't wait to talk to Mr. DT. I had a question for him. A couple of questions, actually.
Go for it.
The first question is, wanted to know his opinion about Mesut Ozil's latest tweet. It's kind of worrying me.
Why?
No, I wouldn't worry. No,
I didn't see it.
Mesut Ozil put a tweet out, and it was him signing a load of pictures on a desk.
Right.
And he said that he's been a little bit busy today, signing stuff, and a winking face. So he's implying that he's been signing other things, but there's a lot more behind the scenes before it gets announced yet. It's like a little teaser.
Okay, right, now I get that.
You know what I mean? And I wouldn't be worried.
I know
really
half
wouldn't.
time at Wembley.
Oh, yeah, it's 2-0 at half time. Jesus. I know there's some Arsenal fans that would be concerned. You have seen it before with Luis Suarez, with Cristiano Ronaldo, Coutinho. They want to leave. It looks like they're going to go. They sign new deals. And then 6 months, a year later, they are sold for a match. Because right now, if Ozil was sold in the summer, I don't think he will. I think he'll stay personally. But if he was sold now, you get an 80, 90 million pound for him. Do you think there is some fear that a big club could then come in for him in the summer, and it's a make weight, a bit of respect so the club gets some big money for him?
Do you know what? Because the fact is, if Ozil would have just waited out the rest of his contract, he would have had a ridiculous signing on fee wherever he went.
Yeah, 20, 30 million, easy, yeah.
Straight into his pocket, so to speak. So I've got no worries at all. I think that the signing of Aubameyang and even Mkhitaryan were massive for him. That kind of made him say, you know what, the club, I've asked for signings. I want to see your ambition. You've showed me it. So and I also believe as well, a footballer's private life is very key to what they do. We spoke on the Olivier Giroud subject and the reason why we feel we joined Chelsea. Mesut Ozil's just bought a new house in London.
Yep.
He's getting married, and they're both happy.
Yeah, no, I get that. I think, do you know what's interesting? We're going to go to some of the comments coming through on Twitter, YouTube actually. Someone just said, my dad. You know, sometimes you guys write really weird comments that make zero sense. Put questions on there. Give us your views and thoughts. Just writing my dad means nothing.
Mohammed's still connected.
Oh, no, Mohammed. Sorry, I forgot you on the line.
The guy's calling from Iran. He's running off his phone bill.
We're going to come to your YouTube comments after. I apologise, Mohammed.
And there's you just reading notes and messages.
Don't worry about that.
You had a second question. What was it, mate?
Yeah, the second question was not. It's not actually about the transfer. It's about the Piers Morgan interviewing Donald Trump, and he presented the charity to Donald Trump on behalf of Arsenal fans. I guess our club. What do you make of that?
In terms of politics, I don't really get involved in that. It's a very sensitive subject.
Do you know what I'd say about that?
But,
take pop art as an example. Now listen, on a level, if you've got an artist, let's just say, I'm going to throw one out there, Usher. Every city he goes to, he'll stick on that city's shirt. It doesn't mean anything.
No, what I think he's getting at is Piers Morgan, because he's very divided within the Arsenal fan base. A lot of people that probably don't know everything about it, but when he was working at the Mirror and he was the main editor, there was the problems of the UEFA Cup final in 2000 when we played Galatasaray, and there was huge fights out in Copenhagen. I was there, I experienced it, I see what happened. And Piers Morgan went and stitched up a load of Arsenal fans, and they ended up losing their jobs. Some of them lost their families.
Wow.
And then it later transpired it was all lies. And there was a little apology.
Fake news.
That ain't the first time Morgan's done that.
And there's a lot of Arsenal fans, especially old school, that will never forgive him for that. And they don't see him as an Arsenal fan.
Well, that's interesting. See, outside of maybe the Arsenal world, we probably wouldn't know that. I wouldn't worry about Trump looking at an Arsenal shirt and talking about it. It's that the geezer's got more important things to worry about. But I understand the issue is, I think every fan group has, whether it's non-famous fans or celebrity fans, there's always going to be people connected to your club that you're not very happy with. Does that make sense?
There's some fans that are not happy that I'm connected to Arsenal.
Well, exactly, mate. I see that.
I don't know.
I'll say it. Save you having to do it, and I'll put this out there. DT is probably one of the most influential footballing YouTubers in the world. Absolutely
outspoken.
But he's outspoken. He speaks his mind.
Yeah, but it's an opinion.
No, but it is. But what it is,
it is. But some people can't.
DT is the best. I feel like.
Thank you.
Because I'm far from London and I can't go to the games, and I feel like there's someone on behalf of me talking, like reflecting our opinions, and that's the best thing. Like, you know.
No, listen, Mohammed, I agree with you, and I love. It doesn't even matter if I agree with the opinions of YouTubers that talk football. I like the education piece. I like listening. The problem is some people get successful, they do well for themselves, they better themselves and their family, and you always get this underbelly of hypocritical, jealous individuals that hate it. Whether you're successful on YouTube, whether you suddenly go from being a dustbin man to being a professional. You do well in business, there's always going to be haters, there's always going to be people out there that are going to hate on you for that. The best thing to do is ignore them, but you're always going to get that. It always happens in life.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true. And I think the reason I think DT has been very successful is like he's being himself. He's respecting his opinion. He's not getting it from someone else. And like some people, sometimes disagree with your opinion, but that's okay, I guess.
Yeah.
But he's been great, and big up to him.
No worries. Thank you, Mohammed.
Thank you for your call.
I have one last question for you.
Yeah.
I think with this transfer market and with selling Giroud for like £20 million, do you think that we're just forgetting about the money we got for Oxlade-Chamberlain, and we haven't still spent that money? You know,
it's a difficult one. But I am also hearing that a lot of our budget is being put into the summer. We can only do so much in January. I know it's as fans, we kind of sit here and go, right, we need a goalkeeper, we need a defender, we need a central defensive midfielder, we need another striker, and you want it all now.
Yeah, of course.
But we've got a minimum 16 games left this season, right? If we get knocked out of the Europa League at the next stage. If we get all the way to the final, we've got 21 games. With what we've got, is that enough to get through those games? Yes, it is. And then we go and address the other problems.
Yeah.
But he's got to do it in the closed season.
Yeah, he's got to. No excuses. No excuses. The money's there.
And get it done early. None of this leaving it until deadline. Mohammed, thank you for your call, man.
Thank you.
Away from Iran. Thanks, brother.
And Chelsea are 1-0 down.
Yeah, Chelsea are losing. I mean, that makes me feel a little bit better because they're right behind us in the league. I mean, I'm not even embarrassed.
Do you know what? It makes me even more annoyed that we lost to Swansea.
Yeah, because it would have been I just thought we'd scored again. But
it's a replay. But how often that happens a lot, though. I remember how many times last year that United outside the top four trying to claw it back, and we'd be the last team playing at the weekend. We'd be away at an average team. All the teams around us would drop points. You think, right, here we go, and then you go and lose anyway. It always rubs salt into the wound. We've got a Spurs fan that's calling through. Yippee! We're ready to take that. And then we're going to do some YouTube comments. We're going to go to but get questions in. Don't just spout right nonsense. Give us a question. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name, my friend?
Hi, my name is Samuel.
Hello, Samuel. How you doing, my mate?
I'm good.
You're a Spurs fan?
Yes, I'm a Spurs fan, very much. And I love Mr. DT, although he's Arsenal fan. I love Mr. DT, man. I don't know. You know, once in a leaked, Miss DT's phone got leaked. And
yeah, we're looking at the man who's responsible for that.
Yeah. And he actually looked at my text.
Yeah. He texted you and you looked at it.
Yeah, they would. It would have been was it a WhatsApp?
So it's a good message. I said I love DT very much, very
Thank
much.
you. That's all right. That is no. Just for everyone that is watching, just so you know, that is not my number right now. And luckily for me,
but I will very soon.
Yeah.
No, I won't do that. I won't do that. I remember that. That was a very painful moment.
Yeah.
And an expensive one for Ross.
And that was a very painful moment for me. That was.
Shit.
What's
United
that?
Are shit.
Who?
United are shit.
Who?
United.
United.
Fuck United.
He said United are shit.
Do you know
Oh,
what?
I like this man even more.
Do you know what, Bob? You can take your DT loving and your Spurs loving, and you can go stick it up your backside, Samuel. All right, mate.
My place where I live now is midnight, and I have to stay up.
Where do you live now?
God. Taiwan. I live in Taiwan.
Oh wow!
There you go.
Manufacturing capital of the world. Taiwan.
There you
go. Of course. Asus is our product.
What's your product?
Asus. The computer brand.
Yeah, oh, okay, cool. Sorry. There we go. Lots of questions on. Okay, we've got to do that, mate. Samuel, thank you very much for your call. Enjoy the second half of the game.
Love PT. I want to call back. I love to call back.
Yeah, we'll call back another time. Thank you.
Sounds like you want to do a lot more than call DT back, if I'm being absolutely honest. Because, like, he is actually buzzing because he got the blue ticks on his WhatsApp.
You know what I mean?
Can you imagine? Oh, my God. I remember I was like that when Lamar, the singer Lamar, tweeted me back once. I actually, stared at it for about 2 hours. I was like,
so who the fuck are you?
I asked him to come on my channel and then he blocked me. No, he didn't really. Could have done. All right, some questions here.
Oi, look who's on the pitch.
Lucas Moura. Right. Someone said there's questions here. I'm looking for the questions. Okay, DT. People say that it was the board that are at fault and not Wenger, and he should leave if he loves the club. What do you make of that? If it's just the board's fault and Wenger backs the board, is he right or wrong to do that? I think that's what that means.
You know what? There's a divide within the fan base asking whether the board are to blame and Wenger's, covering up for him, or whether it's Wenger and the board are giving him what he wants, but he's not using what's at his disposal. At the moment, the way I look at it, and I'm saying, is that,
if it's the board, DT, he's being loyal to the nth degree, isn't he? Or just realises he can't get a better job somewhere else and staying for the money.
It could be many things, and it's...
I mean, a manager would normally walk if it was the board
of
all
course,
the time,
but he's getting £10 million a year. You won't really walk away from that, and he would get, how long would he last at Real Madrid?
About 6 months if it weren't working.
And this is the thing, and I look at the board and I say, you know what, there are problems there with Stan Kroenke, and I'd love for a new owner and everything, but at the end of the day, they're the ones that's, sanctioned the Aubameyang and whatnot and everything, and so you've got to...
But it's like Man United fans, I hate the Glazers. As much as I don't want the debt, I don't want the interest payments, in the last 3 or 4 years, they have backed the club financially. Nobody can deny that. So the hatred towards them dies down a bit because you think you've done something. Another question here from Tabogo, who says, what are the chances of Arsenal signing a central defensive midfielder tonight?
Slim.
Non-existent.
I knew my dad wouldn't say slim.
I could be the back four. They got 2 hours left. I want to bring up something else that nobody has mentioned tonight. How ludicrous, stupid is it that there are Premier League games tonight on transfer deadline day? That is the biggest faux pas the Premier League have ever made. Somebody must have made a mistake and they realised it when it was too late to change it.
I agree. I don't like the fact that...
Have them all last night. 18 games. I mean, it's TV again, I know. Having so many games last night, so many games tonight.
But they can make deadline tomorrow. They can make it the first.
They could do. And the thing is that all the teams that are playing tonight are going to be involved in transfers now.
No.
So therefore, you're not getting David Luiz in.
Well,
I don't know. He's not
Chelsea are playing.
Well, but that would have been a lot earlier on.
Yeah, of course.
With everything that goes on. So
it's just madness.
A user here called Laka Bloodcart I wonder where he got that from. Says, okay, since Obama joined, where is Lacazette going to play? Do you think he'll go with 2 up front or just play with the 1 striker?
It'd be an interesting one. I can't remember the last time Arsene Wenger played with 2 strikers. It was probably when we were successful, to be honest. But I think that Aubameyang will be used more to stretch the back 4 of other teams, push them back the other way. And also he'll be in the box. He's one of these that comes in from the channels and spends a lot of his time in the box. And he, one of our biggest problems is that we put the ball in the box and there's never anyone there to finish it. And I think Lacazette's going through a little bit of a confidence thing at the moment.
He's not had a very good season, has he?
Well, no. Do you know what?
It's his first season.
It's his first season. The thing is, right? I watch a lot of Lacazette's play, and his movement off the ball and the way he makes his runs is superb. He just ain't been found.
And that's interesting because you're at every game. So I always say, when I used to go to Old Trafford week in, week out, my opinion on the game was so different from somebody watching on TV because
you see everything.
You see everything.
Whereas on the telly, you only see
where the
and
camera
you're following the ball.
You just see the action areas all the time.
And that's the thing, and I see it. And last night was a very good point, was that Lacazette got so frustrated at one point with no balls being put into the box by Bellerin, he went out and started crossing himself, as if to say, right, that's how I want to cross.
I've seen that,
but there was nobody there.
And then this is the other thing as well, and I was having this conversation with Lee on the way down here. Lacazette's got this problem now where Bellerin gets the ball out wide, he gets a yard of space to cross the ball and he don't. Lacazette's made his run, it doesn't come. And then it gets to a point that eventually when Bellerin does cross, Lacazette's not on his toes no more because he thinks it's not coming in. And I made this point that I think it was Rio Ferdinand that was talking about it with Ruud van Nistelrooy and Ronaldo. And he said they were at training and Ronaldo was doing all his step overs when he just joined and everything else. And Van Nistelrooy was making a run and then Ronaldo would stop, do a step over, come back. And Van Nistelrooy turned around and stopped the training and he went and tore a strip off Ronaldo and said to him, I don't know when you're going to cross the ball. I can't make a run. I don't know whether to pull off or go forward because I don't know when you'll play it in the pass.
Yeah, I get that.
Stop. And I feel it's the same principle with Bellerin.
But I take your point and I agree with you. So how hard is that to put right? That should be able to be put right with one training session.
That's the manager's
Well,
job.
this is that is down to the managers and the tactics and stuff.
To go to Wenger and say, look, I need these balls played in.
This is the thing. A lot of people as well, they won't see this on telly, which you do see at a game. When the players are warming up now before kick-off, over the last month or so, Bellerin's been out on the right-hand side practicing crosses in the box, and Lacazette's been meeting them. That's in the warm-up. But then once the game comes on, Bellerin doesn't cross the ball.
Was he thick?
He turns... Well, yeah, clearly. Have you seen his dress sense?
Maybe his confidence isn't there. Maybe when it's a live game. But it doesn't make sense to do that. I'm going to move this on a little bit, and we want some of you to write your best ones as well. I've had a comment in here. We are YouTube, so we can do this. This is from Rihanna, who says, actually from Tara, who says, can we get some dad jokes? So if you guys want to write in the comments your best dad jokes, I'm not going to say any dad jokes about my own dad because I'll get a smack in the head. But if anyone's got any good semi-clean dad jokes.
Jesus. I can imagine some of them. Jesus. My dad's so old he farts dust. Bloody hell. What's going on? Oh, he's in. Harry Kane.
He's onside. That's cool. We have got a 2-minute video coming up from Robbie from Arsenal Fan TV. So you guys enjoy that. We're going to have a little switch around with some of our guests here in the studio as well. So enjoy the video.
Hi, welcome along to Arsenal Fan TV. I'm standing next to Thierry Henry because you know what? We've just signed a striker that he's not Thierry Henry, but he's on that calibre as far as I'm concerned. I am mad excited. We have just signed Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and that for me is a brilliant, brilliant signing. I'm so excited. Trust me. I wish we'd have signed him a couple of years ago, but I'm excited. I mean, we've lost Alexis Sanchez, and we all know he's a world-class player. But for me, signing Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, that is such a great signing. And for me, that replaces Alexis. He's a different type of player to Alexis. He's a striker, just like this man here. He's lightning quick, just like this man here. He's skillful. He's a brilliant finisher, just like this man here. We have just signed a world-class striker in Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and his record speaks for itself. African Player of the Year in 2015, and then look at his goal-scoring record for Borussia Dortmund. I mean, it's been absolutely awesome over the last few years. In 2014-15, he scored 25 goals. In 2015-16, 39 goals for the season. In 2016-17, 40 goals for the season. And this season already, 21 goals in 23 games. We have just signed a world-class player. Respect to guys like Danny Welbeck, but this guy is in a different grade. And I am so excited. He suits Arsenal down to the ground with his pace. He's powerful. All right, I know what a lot of people are going to be saying. He's got a bit of a flamboyant character, should I say. a very flamboyant character. We've seen the celebrations with him putting on Batman masks, etc. But I like that. We need a bit of character and a bit of flavour to this team. You know what I mean? This guy used to have lots of character and I loved it. Boring players. I want some excitement at Arsenal and I think this guy might bring it.
Hello. Well, great hearing from Robbie there about his thoughts on Aubameyang. We are now joined in the studio by Mr. John Smith, one of, I'll say this, rather than him say it himself, he's one of the leading football agents in world football. Been there, done it, worn the T-shirt. So from your point of view as viewers, please send us in any questions you have about transfer processes, deadline days, what goes on behind the scenes, anything that you don't understand or would like to know, send your questions in and we'll pose as many as we can to John. But how are you?
I'm all right. I'm enjoying this. It's, it was always like, when I was in the front line of this, it was like kind of Disney on acid. It was one of those mad days. And sometimes it went right down to the wire. I mean, do you remember when I did the Arshavin deal?
Arshavin deal.
We had
4
seconds left.
Didn't that happen about 3 or 4 days after deadline day? Did not get announced.
It was a year when we had snow on deadline day, and we brought Arshavin in because we could see the weather forecast. We brought him in a day early, so he was in London, and we said to him at the time, it was big news, and we said, look, we're going to put you in a little hotel out in Hertfordshire in Elstree. Just keep your head down, you know, don't let anyone see. Stay in your room. We'll get you whatever you want to eat. Anyway, so I'm sitting there. I'm back home now, a couple of hours later. I'm sitting there watching TV, and there's Arshavin outside the hotel on the phone, surrounded by Arsenal fans. Well, we kept that one quiet, didn't we? So, and then it just, the Russians were just very difficult. So it went all the way through.
On transfers, they are so secretive in terms of everybody's, newspapers all trying to get a scoop, us YouTubers are trying to guess what's going on. Why is it so sort of cloak and dagger, like keep someone hidden, keep them away? What's the reasoning behind that?
I think you've got to look at it sort of in the round. So you have a situation which doesn't really evolve that quickly. It takes months, weeks and months until you get to situations like what happened today, I guess, with Manchester City and Mahrez, where they must have known they wanted him. They must have had a contingency plan, and then of course Sane gets injured, and that contingency plan kicks in.
Yeah.
That's when the agent really needs to be on top of his game. So you need to be able to control the situation of where you find yourself. And inevitably, when I was involved, and some of the senior agents, we like to control the situation. Because you have now, and you look at, well, the last transfer deal that Arsenal just made, there were about 20 people on the player's side. So you've got to be able to manage the lawyer, the accountant, the financial advisor, the family, the friend, the advisor. So you kind of putting them into silos and saying, well, okay, I know what you want. We know what your advice is. We'll contain all that. Let's go back and have a chat with Ivan Gazidis or whoever is on the other side. And you try and keep all that flow. Now, Arsenal had 3 of those going on in one day. So all of those individuals will have people with them. And all of those circumstances will have circumstances. So those deals will include things like image rights, which are complicated.
We're going to come back to this in just a moment. There's a little bit of an issue with the sound. So we're going to go across to a video from Robbie that's going to be on for about a minute, and we will be back with you as soon as possible. Thank you.
One of the first things I used to like about Alexis Sanchez is that it's not just his ability, but it's the amount of effort that he puts in. Now, that diminished, you know, sort of in the last 6 months of his game when it was obvious that he wanted to get his move and he wanted to move away. But before that, he's all action, he works hard, he wins the ball, he closes players down. But then when he has the ball, his ability to score goals is second to none. His ability to beat players, the amount of times I see him leave players bamboozled. And also, his ability to assist other players is fantastic as well. So his all-round game is absolutely magnificent. And if I'm being honest, I think he's going to be a big asset to Manchester United. I can't think of a player that Manchester United currently have that is similar to him. And he is a truly world-class player and definitely in the top 10 best players in the world. I think, had he not been playing for Chile and was playing for a more glamorous team, say, let's say he was playing for Brazil or he was playing for Germany, Argentina, he'd be rated even higher than he is.
The first one that hits me, being an Arsenal fan, has to be Olivier Giroud to Chelsea. Now, reports came out yesterday that Arsenal had agreed a fee with Chelsea, £15 million. If that is true, then that is absolutely ludicrous. We heard that Chelsea were looking to buy Andy Carroll for 30 million, and you're trying to offer us 15 for Olivier Giroud. Then reports very late last night came out and said that it's not actually true. Arsenal and Chelsea are at a standstill. Nothing has been agreed. And that Giroud actually may be still part of the deal for Aubameyang to Dortmund. It seems to be a huge merry-go-round because, of course, Batshuayi is meant to be going to Dortmund from Chelsea. Chelsea are only going to really let him go there and let us get Aubameyang if they get Giroud. It's one of those ones. Like I said, it's a...
Just talking about sort of image rights and how complicated they can be. A lot of people sometimes, we've seen Alexis Sanchez as an example, some of the press state that he's on a lot more money than his salary is because they've clumped everything together. Yeah. Are there big differences between the image rights and the salaries and bonuses when negotiating these deals?
Okay, let me give you a kind of generality. I'll come back to Sanchez in a second. Your average £100,000 a week player is probably not on £100,000. He's probably on 60. And then there are bonuses, and then there's incentives. And some of those incentives are actually quite quirky. So you think about the amount of times players get substituted after the 60th minute. And I'll walk you through some of the contracts that we started years ago when, actually, I think the first time we ever used this was with Kleb at Arsenal. Yeah. And we couldn't quite get the deal right, and we managed to get Arsenal to agree that if he came on at certain times, he'd get extra monies. If he came on at half time, he'd get an extra 30 grand. If he came in at 60 minutes, and then it kind of evolved down that track, and there were other bonuses put in at 75 minutes, or if he came on at all. And that's sort of been adopted by a lot of the Premier League, or a lot of the clubs around Europe now. So if you watch how many times clubs substitute post the 60th minute, I'm not saying it's not football. It is for football reasons in most cases, but somewhere there's a guy sitting there with the manager saying to him, you know, if you bring him on in 5 minutes time, you're going to save yourself 25 grand. And sometimes they'll say to the player,
that's crazy.
He's had a really good week. He's trained well. Go on, son. Go and enjoy yourself. Give yourself 3 minutes. You know, when they substitute right at the very end, which is normally slowing the tactics of the game down, but also can be as a little thank you from me going on yourself an appearance fee.
Wow.
20 grand.
I wonder whether Lacazette then, there's something in his contract that if he plays over 70 minutes, he gets more money because he seems to always come off in the 70th minute.
It's interesting. I work in different area of football. I work in football finance. I work in private banking. So I'm not going to reveal what players or exactly how much they earn. But I see what comes into their accounts after taxation every week. And they're not even paid weekly. They're paid monthly. Yeah. Generally, their image rights are paid into businesses as opposed to their personal names. But what I find strange is that a lot of the times what you read in the papers about what they earn, you actually look what comes in. And as you say, it's nowhere near that amount. So I find it staggering when you hear that a player, so let's say Zlatan's on £500,000 a week. And you just think, where have you cooked up this? You haven't seen the contract because you'd reveal it. If the newspaper had a contract, they'd stick it in their newspaper. So I sort of implore a lot of fans to ignore what you read in terms of what they're actually earning, because as you say, it's often quite a lot less unless they're playing every minute of every game, scoring goals, winning games.
Yeah, there's a variety of bonuses now, and also when they used to say David Beckham earns this amount of money, that includes his boot deals and his boot deal bonuses and what Victoria earns for walking around the pitch a couple of times or whatever it might be, you know, all sorts of things like that.
It's ridiculous.
But, you know, so he's probably Sanchez is probably on £300,000 a week rather than 5, and the rest come with the various bonuses that are.
And when you was talking earlier about the Arshavin deal, for people that actually don't know, and it was going right to the wire, there was about 1.2 million between the clubs where they couldn't agree, and you yourself
Yeah, we actually
put that money in.
We offered the money because the commission wasn't going to be far off that, and I knew we had so much business going on with Arsenal, and it was Ivan's first week in the club. And
that's unreal.
And I said, look, we'll do this, and he said, so what have you just cost us? And I said, about $1.2 million.
That's absolutely brilliant.
Okay, and I thought, God, he's going to pay that. That's let me off the hook. But yes, he
wow.
Just,
Can I ask what Arsene said about it? Was he involved?
Arsene was brilliant actually throughout all that. He was just really calm, and I like people in deals that are calm, because some of the clubs cut up, they get a bit rough, they get a bit emotional, they get a bit. It's tribal, I suppose, you know, and some of the seriousness and some of the corporate control that they exercise in their daily lives don't translate into football clubs. It's much better now than it used to be. And the lower you go down the league, it gets more emotional. But of course, you know, you are dealing with corporate structures and you're dealing with human beings, and sometimes those overlap and the emotion gets quite high.
Do you find that a lot of clubs now have a lot more individuals within them that are businessmen? If you look at Ed Woodward at Manchester United, his career is business. I've never heard him speak football, and I don't know how much he knows about it. But in terms of the commercial deals, the players that he lands, is that better for a club to have those men in charge, or is it, or do you think it was better in the days where you had sort of ex-players and legends sitting on the boards doing these deals?
I think it's better now. I mean, if you look at the way the Premier League runs itself, it's a very well-run league. It's the most successful sporting league in the world, probably in history, in the history of the world of sport. And most of the clubs make a profit. Most of them are well-run. And I think, you know, the older managers, the Harry Redknapps of this world, who were great in their time, have just, that whole era is beginning to change.
Yeah.
Which is a way, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Arsene because he's been a friend, he's been a guiding light, he's been an inspiration to me over the years. But, you know, everyone has a sell-by time, you know, even Margaret Thatcher. And it kind of comes a point where you think, you know, I want him to go out on a high.
Yeah.
He's used to having all that control in his domain. And in a corporate structure that Arsenal are now, that's probably not possible.
Yeah. Do you feel that he's lost a bit of that power with the people that are coming in and out of Arsenal?
You can definitely see that it's coming to an end.
Yeah.
And Ivan's, I don't want to say control, Ivan's ascendancy to the deal-making part of the equation has grown. There are now, there's a new lawyer, there's a director of football, you can see that era is coming to an end, which is why it would lead me to believe that quite possibly Arsene will go at the end of this season rather than at the end of his 2-year agreement.
Literally end of an era.
I would have, yes, it will be end of an era, and I hope we celebrate it, because not celebrate his go, I just hope we celebrate him.
Yeah,
because he's done a good.
This is the thing that
emotionally.
Yeah, this is what I've said to a lot of people, because everyone knows my thoughts, and I'm very outspoken in what I feel I want to happen at the club, and I feel that he's reached his sell-by date and whatnot. But I will always be grateful for what he's given the club and what he's done, and I've always said I would love him to win a trophy and go that way.
Yeah.
I would love to him when we beat Hull and we've gone through that dry patch.
Yeah.
I feel that was the perfect time for Arsene to have gone, because there was no real divide within the fan base. There were fans that wanted him to leave, but there wasn't that kind of aggression with some of the fan base that there is now, where some people are. It's got to a point where a lot of fans are thinking, you know, the bad is outweighing the good, because you've just hung on too long, sort of thing. And it's
tactics are changing.
Yeah.
You know, the way that Jose sets up his teams different from some. The way the younger coaches are. I'm not saying Eddie Howe is the future, because he's not there yet. But people like Eddie Howe set their teams up differently now. And Arsene comes from a different era.
Yeah.
Now, he's tried to adapt. He has he has adapted, and you know, you can see the way he interrelates the back three, the back four. That, you know, he tries to position it around what the other teams, how the other teams are set up.
Yeah.
But he's 20 years now.
Yeah.
You know, the game is moving on.
Yeah, it's a long time. Do you know, there was one question I want to ask, and it's for people that obviously don't know, and the younger fan base and everything else, but obviously you was involved with Maradona a very long time ago. Now,
I hate him, I love him.
He's one of those.
The Maradona, that's, you know, when
Still,
you
by the way,
talk...
I think the greatest player ever.
Well, this is what I was just about to say. You talk about the greatest players in the world, and obviously you've got the new era with your Ronaldos and your Messi. In them days, you know, you have Pele, and you have Maradona. I still don't forgive him because of the hand of God, obviously with that. But as a player, he was just a genius. But what was it like managing him and transfers in comparison to now?
It was very similar to now. He was the first of the icons, really. I mean, Pele was iconic, but by the time the game had moved into some sort of broadcast mode, he was already yesterday's hero, and I don't mean insulting at all. He was the hero of yesterday. Maradona was the first. When we were involved with him moving from Barcelona to Napoli, it was just a circus. I mean, it was just intense, immense, and we arrived in Naples, and you know, very religious city, huge banners, posters of Jesus hanging off buildings. I mean, huge, massive, and huge, massive pictures of Maradona next to Jesus. I mean, it was just, that's something.
Absolutely. We're going to continue this conversation. We need to go to a video being sent in by Neek Sports, so we're going to switch to that now. We'll be back in about a minute or so. Thank you.
Neek Sports here at Wembley. Poor. How do you concede after 10 seconds? 10 seconds! I mean, that's like all your plans from the training ground out the window. And this is a Jose Mourinho team. I know the fact is Kane, the goal should have been disallowed because Kane had crossed the halfway line. But the bottom line is, how does one long ball from the opposition half, from the centre back, and they've conceded? I don't know.
Very poor.
We haven't been very potent going forward either. I think Mourinho's got some big changes. He went down the dressing room, what, 3 minutes early, so he's gonna give them a rollicking. We'll see what can happen in the second half. But Ramon, today seems all about Arsenal, isn't it?
It's deadline day today. Come on, big day for Arsenal. Plenty's coming in, plenty coming out. So it seems. We've got Aubameyang coming into Arsenal. We've got Ozil signing a new deal.
But you lost Giroud. You must be upset. I know you're a Giroud fan. You've always been a Giroud fan.
I'm a fan of Giroud. He's an impact player. But do you know what? He needs to play games, and he's not. World Cup coming up. He's not going to be starting for us. So with Aubameyang coming in, we had to let him go. Afraid that has.
So what happens to Lacazette then? Because Aubameyang's obviously going to be a threat to his space as well.
Well, we'll have to see. You know, I haven't got a clue what's going to happen. He could go two up front. He could drop one and bring one in. Obviously, Aubameyang can't play in the Europa League, so that means that he's likely to be starting in most Premier League games. Obviously, the League Cup final as well is a big plus to have him there. But overall, it's a brilliant signing. I mean, he's a world-class striker coming to the Emirates. Replace one world-class guy with another. That's how we do.
So it's all smiles from the teams in North London. Obviously, Arsenal got their big signing. Spurs are winning here at Wembley. But if anyone can change it, Mourinho can. He is the special one. That's it. You hear from us at full time.
60 million for Fox's start after Sane ruled out for 7 weeks. How are you supposed to compete with that? You know, Manchester City get an injury to a player and they're like, yeah, let's just go and spend 60 odd million on a new one. You know, what do they do when Sane's fit? It's really weird. Riyad Mahrez, of course, handed a transfer request in last night. And that's what they go on to say. Pep Guardiola has moved for the Leicester winger after Leroy Sané was ruled out for up to 2 months with ankle ligament damage. The Foxes immediately slapped a £90 million price tag on their former Footballer of the Year in an effort to fend off the Premier League leaders. It's going to be difficult for them to resist today. Tough one. Do they take the 60 odd million now and keep an unhappy player? We all know how that plays out. Look at Alexis Sanchez with Arsenal. Or do they just take that money? Transfer deadline day throws up a few surprises here or there. This could be one of them ones that we've got to keep an eye on.
London to another, and we actually go to Chelsea, who are currently in for a double swoop of Roma players, that being Edin Dzeko and Emerson Palmieri. Now, sticking with new striker signings, Chelsea's forward Alvaro Morata is obviously not firing on all cylinders at the moment, and some Chelsea fans are even losing patience with their new signing. Now, bringing in a striker of Edin Dzeko's quality, who already is proving in the Premier League during his time at Man City, could be what Chelsea need, and almost with the same knock-on effect I was talking about with Lacazette. This could be what's needed for Morata to start scoring more goals, because we all know that Dzeko can score a goal, and he's actually scored twice when he has played against Chelsea in Stamford Bridge this season, so we know he can score there for one. So So could this be what Chelsea need? And of course they have said they are also in for left back Emerson Palmieri, who would be direct competition with just Marcos Alonso now, because they actually have confirmed that their other left back who could play there, Kennedy, has actually moved on to Newcastle now on loan until the end of the season. Now the young Brazilian came over from Brazil to Chelsea not too long ago, and unfortunately hasn't really been able to break into the side, but he has had a few appearances in cup competitions this season, and Chelsea fans are quite excited about him now being able to go on loan to Newcastle to get some really solid game time and maybe prove to Antonio Conte that new signing Emerson Palmieri is not who he needed, and all he needed was to stick Kennedy in the team, and he can now have a chance to prove his
Hello, welcome back to FanPark Live. I'm still joined by Mr. DT and John Smith here. I know a lot of people are asking these questions. I'm going to turn around John asking this, that we know agents, there's always a lot of press around how much agents get paid, the fees that they take. Some believe that you sort of take too much money off footballers or you're ruining football. What would you say to those people that think agents get paid too much money?
I guess the same argument that footballers get paid too much money. It always used to make me laugh that if in the days when Beckham was playing and his wife was on tour, people would say, oh, the Spice Girls or Victoria Beckham earned £1 million tonight at whatever stadium it was, and that's acceptable. But for David Beckham to earn then £100,000 a week was unacceptable because he was a footballer. And yet the audience for football is bigger than the audience, in most cases, than rock stars are earning. So, you know, we footballers are the biggest entertainers on the planet. And by the way, we're pulling in £8.5 billion a year, and it's them that is doing it. So they should be paid. So, to answer your question, sorry, bit of a circuitous route, the agents are not going anywhere. We are part of the game. The big mistake the authorities have made, and we've formed ourselves into an association, the AFA, the Association of Football Agents. We've offered our services to the FA, who do, in fairness to them, come and have a chat with us, but it's lip service. We should be in that room when they create the regulations, because the regulations don't play. Pogba, agent, £47 million worth of deal, commission. Huge. Actually, a third of that was his commission. Still big.
Yeah.
The rest of it was him being Aurelio being very clever, saying, I'm going to sell you this player. I believe in this player. So if, I can't remember if the numbers were about, it was 20 million. If you sell him for 30, I'd like extra, because I believe in him. I don't want the money now. I want it when you sell him for 30. When you make it, I'll make it. If you sell him for 40, 50, 70, 80, when it got to about 80 odd million, he made a lot of money.
Yeah.
So he made a lot of money by putting the...
Juventus had to give him back, it's about £20 million that they had to give, and I know that the FIFA looked at that, I think.
Well, FIFA are beside themselves on it. I mean, I was the promoter of the FIFA Best Awards this year, and we were talking about that. They said, well, we've got to get rid of this, we've got to get rid of that commission. I said, but, you know, actually, it's not actually commission. It's actually a deferred incentive working with the player. So I don't see anything wrong in that. So now, bring it right up to date. Ross Barkley, good player, not the greatest player on the planet, going to Chelsea last window. Conversations happen between the various parties, and they say, you know what, if you move by window, the price is obviously going to go down sizably. So instead of your employer, your current employer, getting the money, you go back there. Come to us in 6 months' time in the January window, and we'll pay you £7 million if you bring your player to us. So we save money. The agent, no, whatever, the agent may bank that. He may give some to his player. He may give some to the player's family. I don't know where that money goes, but allegedly he got £7 million for that deal by moving it from one window. He looked after his player because the player got sizably more money. The loser was the club selling the player. Now, a la Sanchez, the same thing happened there. And the interesting thing is, the final part, the answer to the question, sorry to be so long.
No, it's brilliant.
I'll be very quick, is that is going to happen more and more. So you're going to see more and more people. And by the way, Aurelio turns up at Arsenal with Mkhitaryan and says, okay, it's going to cost you and whatever was, of course, it's fallen into his lap. Now, whether he shares it with his player or whether he gives it to Oxfam,
that's mad.
Whatever. But that's the situation that we're in. It's just the numbers are huge.
I think for me, I know we're going to take a call in a minute. In just 1 minute, we're going to take the call. But I think I don't care who earns the money in football. I actually don't. I think, as you say, billions of people watch it, billions of pounds of revenue, and it feels like one industry where the actual workers are the ones being paid. You know, I work in the banking industry. The people making the banks the big money don't get paid, you know, the big amounts. It's the people at the top. So I like to see the working people, the ones that are actually creating the magic, getting the money. I suppose the only thing that would concern me is that if an agent's taking 20, 30 million pounds from a deal, the only other place I'd like to see that money go is into the club and reduce ticket prices for fans. You know, that's the only area that I'd like to see the money spent in, other than on players.
Would you cap that then? Would you? Because that's the only thing I can't get my head around. I don't think you can stop people earning money.
No, and I wouldn't cap it because I don't believe in that.
You can levy. You can say, earn what you want, but 15% of your fee goes to a benevolent fund
Yeah.
for football, for, I don't know, kids on the or whatever. It doesn't matter. It goes back to the supporters trusts or whatever you want to do. Yeah, I think that's a pretty decent idea.
We've got a call coming through. No, I agree. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name?
Hi, I'm Abdullah from Pakistan. I called the other night after the Chelsea game, if you can remember.
Yes, hello Abdullah. How are you?
I'm in mixed of emotions right now because I want to talk about transfers for Arsenal. The day started off really well when Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang signed, and I was like, I'm buzzing right now. When they announced that Ozil has signed an extension, I was really happy. But it hurts to see Giroud go because he has been such a loyal servant for the club, and he's given us so many great memories. But Arsenal are finally doing what as fans we've been asking to them for a long time. Spending money, buying world-class players, and getting rid of the deadwood. And as much as I love Walcott and Giroud and Debussy and all these guys, they weren't world class. They weren't as good as Arsenal. They were really good. They provide us with great memories, but I think they were really not that good. Do you agree with me?
Now, let me ask you this question. So I get that you're unhappy about Olivier Giroud. Do you know what I sometimes think about legendary players at clubs or people that you like at football clubs who have done great things for you? Sometimes I'm quite happy for them to move on because as much as it's a good bit of business from Chelsea to get him and a bit of money for Arsenal, it's the best thing for Olivier Giroud right now. He wants to play regularly.
Yes, because he wants to be in the French national squad, right?
Exactly. And do you know what is interesting? Jose Mourinho has had a lot of stick, for instance, for selling Mata when he was at Chelsea. He didn't want to, but he did it because the player said, please let me go. So actually, I think there's a bit of honour there for a manager to say, rather than letting you sit on the reserves or sit on the bench, I'm going to let you go and play, even if it strengthens a rival. So we often attack a lot of players for not being loyal. So shouldn't we congratulate a club for being loyal to our players by allowing them to have these moves? I don't think we can hypocrisise ourselves and have it both ways.
No. I will try to be when Theo and Giroud returns to the Emirates. I hope and I pray to God that they will get the warmest of receptions because they have been really loyal to the club. Is DT there as well?
I think that's gone up to you.
Yeah. What's he saying? Sorry, I was watching the game. I'm concentrating on there. Sorry, I was just seeing what's actually going on, and then I looked at the comments.
I love you, man. I absolutely love you. I'm an Arsenal fan. I absolutely love you because like I have seen you coming through Arsenal Fan TV, and now you have a YouTube channel of your own of 150. Congratulations on the 150,000 subscribers, man.
No worries. Thank you very much. Thanks for supporting. Thank you.
I'm a huge fan from Pakistan, and your podcast with Robbie regarding the foreign fans, it really hit me hard.
No.
It's you. I don't know if you believe that a lot of people from here, we heard that podcast, and we were so happy. Another thing that I want to talk about right now is I think Chelsea are losing 3-0. United are also losing 2-0. It's a shame that Tottenham are winning, but
well, Man United can't lose if Tottenham aren't winning tonight. It's one of those things.
Yeah, so I want both of them to lose. I absolutely hate both of them.
Hate is a strong word. You're doing so well. No, I'm only joking,
but he
mate.
loves you, dude.
But he obviously he's been listening to me, and that's where the word hate and stuff comes from, because I've obviously inspired him to hate Tottenham so much. So that's my job done.
That hate and love in your brain, the next compartment.
Yeah,
in your
very
brain.
close to each other.
So that's where you obviously cross over.
I
definitely.
There's one more thing I want to talk about. There's one more thing I want to talk about. Is that I'll be coming to the UK to study business, and I wanted to go to a game, so I checked into the prices, and the tickets are so expensive, man. They're like the most expensive tickets in the world right now.
They are literally.
No team makes more money on a match day than us. Literally, not Man United, not Liverpool, not Real Madrid.
No, Man United do make more money, but no, I get what you're saying. Listen, we really do appreciate your call, mate. Thank you very, very much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Take care.
The call was really hard to get.
Because we are very popular. Take care, mate. Thank you. Great call there. We are going to take a very short break. When we come back, Claude and Robbie from Arsenal Fan TV are both going to be here. Me and DT are going to take a little bit of a break, have some food, but I'll be back a little bit later. Thank you for tuning in. Give us a
Hi, welcome back to FanPark Live. I've jumped in the hot seat. Terry's been doing a great job alongside DT. We've still got John Smith here, the super agent. Super John.
I learned it all from this man, I got to tell you.
Always a pleasure. And we got Claude here. How you doing, Claude?
I'm okay, mate.
Can you believe some of these results that I'm seeing here? Chelsea losing 3-0 at home. I thought our result was bad last night, Arsenal. But Chelsea losing 3-0 at home.
That is staggering, actually. I have
to
say,
Bournemouth.
I have to say that is staggering. I mean, Tottenham have played well tonight.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen. Obviously, Chelsea haven't played well. But I mean, it's astonishing result there at Stamford Bridge.
Yeah, I mean that is just. And I don't know if you saw this. There's a picture going around on Twitter with Giroud sitting in the audience, sitting in the crowd. With a big smile on his face. We see that on Claude. I mean, obviously, he wouldn't have had a smile on his face whilst the game was going on. But that's loads of Arsenal fans have jumped on that, and that's everywhere at the moment.
Yeah, it's a bit sad because he's scored over 100 goals for Arsenal, hasn't he? And
Giroud,
hey,
you're on about Giroud now,
Yeah.
right? You are on about Giroud. It's a bit sad.
Well, it isn't about
the man who used to call Giroud a lamppost.
I've been critical, but I
can't believe what I'm hearing here.
Well, hold on a minute. Hold on. When I'm saying that, I said in the last year and a half, I've given him his due. He's really been a real great professional. I mean, he's sat on the bench. He's come off the bench and scored vital goals. He's done really well.
I felt a bit sad. I have to say, I felt a bit sad watching him hold a blue and white scarf up. It just, I mean, just didn't feel quite right.
I understand with you, John, but with this guy here, right? Now I'm going to tell you this, right?
Yeah, but I'm critical.
On Arsenal Fan TV, for the past couple of years, these teared into Giroud. Giroud is a lamppost. He's not worth it. Get rid of him. He can't hit a barn door. Constantly, time after time. Now you're here telling me.
Well, we're all us football fans. We're all fickle, aren't we? We think 1 minute and then something else happens the next. Isn't it? Look, I've been quite impressed. The last couple of years, I think he's done a lot better. You know, I mean, but I still think he's a plan B coming off the bench. But
John,
I wish him well at Chelsea. I mean,
yeah.
Oh, he's a great pro as well. I mean, he's never complained. He's sat on the bench.
He came over to the fans last night, the Arsenal fans, and clapped them and tapped the badge and stuff like that.
You knew that he was on his way then.
Yeah, you knew that he was on his way. John, obviously, listen, it's your trade, football agency. Explain this Giroud move, because it's 18 months he's gone for, so that seems a bit weird to me. That it's only 18 months. That's a very short-term deal. He's gone for about £18 million. Now, obviously, Chelsea have been looking for a big player because they were after Crouch. They were looking at all these people like this. Who's got the best deal out of this? Because it looks like Arsenal were in a hurry to get rid of him, because from what I was hearing, he didn't really want to go. Have they done well out of this, Arsenal, or who's Chelsea got a good deal?
I think Arsenal have stumbled over the line. I think we were late to the party. I think this could have been resolved with, and I don't know whether we've talked about this before, I would have liked to have seen last summer Arsenal sit down with Sanchez and say, right, you want your 350 grand a week, have it. Go on, smile all the way at the bank, enjoy it, play your heart out, 2 years added to your contract. We'll put a £60 million clause in, which is where Man City were at the time anyway. Anyone comes in, they can have you, because at 60 million for a year and a bit, it washes its face for Arsenal, and they've got a happy player, happy camp, as opposed to this degenerating situation that went on. And I think as it went on, I mean, look, these deals don't happen overnight. Aubameyang looks like it's happened in a week. It hasn't. It's been going on, obviously, for quite a while. But as the weeks go by, you try and fill in those gaps. You try and join the dots, and it's obvious that somebody's going to have to go. And then Walcott goes, and so you have to think, well, if we let Giroud go, then there's another striker out the window. So now we're under pressure to finish this one off. So the later it gets into the window, the more pressure the purchasing club has. So that's why we had to pay what we paid. I think, as a supporter, I think it's sad to see Giroud go. But at 18 million, which is a ridiculous price for someone of his age,
31 years of age,
but
and they only paid just over 10 million for him, didn't they?
So, yeah. Can I ask you something? Do you think this would have happened with the present group come in now? You know, the new setup that's come in now. Do you think that would have happened?
Look, I think if you read in between the lines, Arsene is on his way out. So whether it's this year, and I think if he won the Europa, probably go at that point. park that thought for a moment. The new system being put in place, you see the new lawyers, the new director of football, the various other things that are going on. So all of that is Arsene's exit. And you can see Ivan's ascendancy into the deal-making position. And Ivan has actually, if you look at, during his tenure, he's doubled the value of Arsenal's ownership's value of the club, from £500 million to £1 billion, because circumstances have happened. But under his watch, that's what's happened. So he's the hero. So now he's
the hero to the owners.
Yeah, absolutely. and he's not to the supporters, because there is this,
we want trophies.
There is this dichotomy which has been going on for quite a while. So now, in answer to your question, I think today we got a result. I think they would have preferred him to go to Dortmund, but Giroud's wife didn't want to live over there. I think they probably had to top up bits of the deal, so it's cost them quite a lot of money. And we still haven't got the defence, but that's another story. So look, you can see the Arsenal machine is beginning to kick in now, and it's marginalising the management.
If we've gone a bit, we should have gone a bit more earlier with this. We shouldn't have let it.
Yes, absolutely.
Listen, we've got a call on the line from a Derby County supporter. Are you there? Hello?
Hello?
Hello, hi. Sorry, what's your name, sir?
Daniel.
Daniel, Derby County supporter. What did you want to say, mate?
I just want to say, who would be your ideal replacement?
For
Arsene Wenger? Would it be Ancelotti?
Put that one to you, Claude, first. Who would be your ideal replacement for Arsene Wenger if he leaves?
That's a good shot, but I'm more of a Joachim Low. I think and I wouldn't be surprised with the. We have got a bit of a German setup at the moment.
Yeah.
So I would say, because it's the World Cup's coming to. They're going to defend the World Cup. I think if they win it, he's going to go out anyway, isn't he? And if they don't, I think he'll go anyway. So he's won the World Cup.
I saw that Real Madrid.
I wouldn't be surprised if Joachim Low or Carlo Ancelotti has been rumoured, but I've even heard Arteta coming in. But I mean, I don't think he's too quick.
What about you, John? A replacement for Arsene Wenger?
I think at the moment Carlo Ancelotti's in the pilot seat at the moment. Conversations have been had, so and he's very quiet, and he's not normally very quiet.
Yeah, normally everyone's coming in for him, and no one's coming for him.
He's been marginalised.
But wouldn't that, you say that, sorry to interrupt you, but wouldn't he be more in the Chelsea range? Because with Conte going,
he's already been there, don't forget.
Yeah, he's already been there, hasn't he?
Yeah, but so was Mourinho. It's already been there. But what I'm saying, you hear that Chelsea are looking for someone like.
No, I think they've got their eyes elsewhere. I mean, look, Conte's obviously going.
Yeah.
Roman's not going to fund very much else. I mean, they're going for the Jekos of this one, and obviously now Giroud. So he's obviously on the way out. There's been a set of I don't think he's going to go to Arsenal, Conte, by the way.
Another one I wouldn't rule out is Tuchel.
Yes, I think that's not a reason. That's not bad.
I think Ancelotti as well in the interim, because there's going to be some big shoes to fill. After Wenger's been there for so long, you're going to need somebody like an Ancelotti to steady the ship. We all remember what happened to Manchester United when they brought in Moyes. I think it's a real pressurised job, Arsenal, and very pressurised. The fact that you've had some guy that's been in there for 20 years and has done a half-decent job. And no matter what people say, when we look back at what Arsene Wenger's done and you sort of lump it all together, he's, even in the times recently when he's been not performing up to what the fans want in the league, he's still won trophies. So it's going to be a pressurised job, and I think you're going to need somebody like an Ancelotti to take it on before you then bring in the next big thing. Pep would have been the person I wanted, but...
And I think Ancelotti's used to working in that system as well.
Got another question.
Sorry, you got another question?
Yeah, to be title contenders next season, you need to get a new goalkeeper, like Atletico Madrid goalkeeper. I forgot his name, and sort out the defence. Like I don't know if Sergio Ramos would be an ideal choice for you as well.
How about going English and going Buckland?
Yeah, Butland would be good. How easy would it be to get somebody like Butland, John? I mean, it'd be expensive, but Stoke, not going very good this season.
No, I remember Butland. He was on loan at Derby, and he saved quite a lot of times as well, and he saved a penalty.
I would want Arsenal to move fairly rapidly in that department, because coming down the pipes in a minute is financial fair play 2. I don't know whether you've read a lot about this, but that's and it's a funny situation coming out of UEFA. UEFA have this love affair with some of the key clubs around Europe, and although they're not the paymasters, they kind of call a lot of the tunes. And last summer they got very fed up with the fact that a new kid on the block called Paris Saint-Germain came in and blew them all out the water. So UEFA have rapidly put together FFP2, which penalises the spend of transfers against your turnover, which obviously hits Man City, it hits PSG and clubs like that who haven't got the maturity of the turnover that a Real Madrid has got, because they haven't been a big boy for that long. So that's why you'll see at the moment, that's why Man City have been out there trying to spend money, although allegedly 95 million for Mahrez pushed the bucket a bit too far. But you know, so I'd like whatever Arsenal do in the defence, in the realm of defence, they're going to have to move fairly rapidly, otherwise they're going to get caught by FFP2.
Listen, thank you very much for your call. That was excellent there. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Just moving into, just looking at some of the results. Tottenham Hotspur have beaten Manchester United by 2-0. Apparently, Alexis Sanchez didn't have the greatest of games.
He got a real clump at the end as well, so things are not going that great for him at the moment, are they? But I still love him.
You still love him?
Yeah, I know a lot of people have turned against him, but
what is it? What do you love about him now? Yeah, I mean, he's left Arsenal for the money.
I know, but Rob, I love his commitment during the games. I just think he's.
But we didn't see that commitment for a very long time. I mean, the noises that's coming out of Arsenal, to me, is that a lot of the players, John, were glad to see him go. He was not happy. Yeah. Some of them saw him as very arrogant. I was even chatting to an official the other day and he was saying to me that even just to get him to sign a shirt, he weren't up for doing things like that. It doesn't sound like he was. He sounds like he was loved by the fans, but not very liked at the club.
And the whole thing festered for 6 months, and it just got worse and worse and worse, and he became ostracised. In fairness to him, at 29, this is his last move.
Yeah, exactly.
If you can get £500,000, it's not £500,000 a week, by the way. It's probably 300. Remember the conversations we've had in the past? That £100,000 a week isn't. It's probably 60. The 500 is probably 350. So it's the same.
Still all right, though, isn't it?
It's all right.
I'll have it.
It's the same as Ozil's getting now.
Yeah.
Allegedly, but and just a little defence of him. He does give a lot of money back to his hometown of Chile, which is a shambles, and he's rebuilding that town back there for the people. So
I suppose I shouldn't hate on him, but he's got to Man United, so I'm gonna.
Also, Robbie, what you got to understand, he's not a fan of the club, so they're going to move in there 3-4 years. All these players are going to go after 3 or 4 years. I wouldn't be surprised. I know Ozil.
Hold on, Brad Lynch says there, Sanchez is a great individual player, but not what Arsenal needed. He lost the ball retention too much. He did give the ball away a lot of times, Claude, didn't he?
But he also got us out of a lot of games.
He dug us out some games.
I think what it was with him, he was trying too hard a lot of times in games to make things happen. I shouldn't hate on him. He's a great player. We've got another call. Is that another call there? All right, let me see if I can. I'm new to this, right? So trust. Who we got on this call?
Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm alright. I'm an Arsenal fan.
Yeah. And where you calling from?
Bolton.
Okay, what did you want to say?
Basically, I'm very happy that we signed Aubameyang, but I'm quite upset that we lost Giroud, because I don't think that Wenger used him properly.
Well,
he never.
How do you think Giroud didn't use him properly?
Because we never, Wenger in the whole of this half season, he never paired him up with Lacazette to go two up top. Because for France when he plays with Griezmann two up top, and he works very well. He never tried that, to be honest.
Yeah, that's true. You know, Claude. A lot of people used to say that. Didn't they?
That's a great point.
Good observation.
And do you know what upset me? And this is, I'm not gonna. I don't want to go keep on about anti-Wenger at the moment. I know but what upsets me, it's always used to be that when they last 20 minutes, you always used to take Lacazette off and never play them together. Instead of trying to be something different, you know, put the two up front, see how they get on, you know, if we're chasing the goal.
lamppost.
Well, no, but it was, we never saw them two together.
Yeah.
I think it would have been good to see them. I think
It's true what the gentleman's saying there. That combination for France with Griezmann just playing off Giroud. And the one thing about Giroud is that he wins lots of headers, lots of, you know, he holds the ball up well, and players can play off of him. We never really saw that at Arsenal.
He takes the defender out the mix, yeah.
And another thing is Arsenal keeps saying that they can't find a DM, and for cheap as well. But Matuidi went from PSG to Juventus for 18 million, and we needed him.
Is he really a defensive midfielder though? Matuidi.
No, but he's better.
Most of the time he's more of a box to box, isn't he?
No, but he's better than what we've got though.
Yeah.
We could have gone for like Kadira as well, to be honest, because he's quite aging quite a bit. To be honest, I'd want to get someone like Casemiro, but that'd be very thingy, to be honest.
Yeah, but you're not going to get Casemiro off Real Madrid either.
Talking about that, I was going to ask John, wouldn't we have been better off getting someone like Kante instead of Xhaka?
I think Kante was a big miss for us.
Yeah, but this is what I can't believe, and it was at the same sort of price as well. This is what I couldn't understand.
I saw Xhaka coming in as that petite individual, that tough, hold it up, put him, and he hasn't quite happened. So I'm disappointed, but yeah, completely agree with you. Kante was a miss for us.
So you had another point to make?
Yeah, the thing is, Kante won the Premier League with Leicester, but you have to take a risk with that, don't you? Because some people call it like one season wonders. So, but that he actually went on to do well at Chelsea. But so sometimes people do well for one season, but no longer. So sometimes, because Kante at that time was only worth 30 million, now it'd be worth about 100 million, won't it?
Can I ask you a question though? Are you pleased on the whole? Excuse me, with the business that Arsenal have done this transfer window. At the start of January, it was all doom and gloom with the whole Alexis thing and where's he going to go, etc., etc. Are you pleased with how it's gone?
Yeah, I don't give a shit about Alexis. He can go to United. But another thing is, we've sold about 8 players and we've only replaced like 2. We sold Coquelin, we've not got defensive midfielder. We sold Gibbs. We sold Gabriel. We sold who else did we sell? Walcott.
Yeah.
Sold Giroud. So we sold about 8 players, but we've only got 2, and we've not got that depth in our squad. That's the problem.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen. Thank you very much for your call.
Another thing is, I appreciate what you do on the channel. I watch it every week.
Thank you very much.
And
when you've watched the channel, have you ever heard this guy mention Giroud as a lamppost?
No, say no.
Because all of a sudden we seem to have forgotten about that. Now Giroud is a great player. Oh, he's a good player. I would have liked to see somebody play off of him.
For Arsenal Fan TV, the main ones are DT, Troops, Claude, and more. But DT, I think, is the main one now.
No, they're all good. Even Lee Judges is very good as well. They're all good. Everyone is good. They're all good. Everyone that comes on is good. There's no one special.
Exactly. Thank you very much for your call. All right. Thank you very much. John, you know what? Right. I want to ask you now. Your book that you've done, brilliant book. I recommend the book to anybody who wants, especially if you want to know about the life of a football agent, a proper football agent, because a lot of people out there say they're football agents, but a proper super agent. You want to know how the Premier League got started. He was part of that. And do you know what? I was referencing your book earlier on because we was having, there was a load of us sort of, we were sitting in a cafe as we was trying to hear about transfers coming in. And the whole subject about Adebayor came on, right? And Ty was there and he's saying Adebayor was a liar because Adebayor came out recently and said that he didn't want to leave Arsenal when he left, and we all remember him running up and sliding on his knees in front of all the Arsenal fans of City, and he was saying that, listen, I didn't want to leave. And I remember seeing that in your book. And I was referencing your book today and saying, listen, read the book. You'll see that John, who had a lot to do with that whole move, was saying the same thing. He didn't want to move.
He didn't. And it was down really to a conversation towards the end when the deal was falling apart, where Arsene had to put his arm around him and say, look, you know, it's likely you'll be playing your football at Barnet in the reserves. They had sort of like a second team at the time. And, you know, it's probably best that you go on your way. And that was the final shove out the door. But he didn't really want to go now.
Wow. Can I ask you, John, while you're talking about that, do you remember Van Persie's, right? Van Persie. Is it true that he actually came back and right at the end and he said, I wanted to stay, he wanted to stay, but Arsene said, no, you've gone now? Yeah,
I mean, look, actually, there's very few people who like leaving Arsenal. There's just something about the club, and it's
unless you're Alexis,
unless you're Alexis. Well, you know, £300,000 a week does kind of help. But I think you know, it's a very harsh business. You know, it comes to a point where, and you're right, Van Persie didn't want to go, and Arsene had to go. You know, it's your time. So yeah, it is tough. And by the way, on the book, I'm having I'm talking at the London Sporting Club on the 8th of February, and we're giving books out with all the tickets as well. So because the whole agency world is beginning to change again. Now you'll be beginning to see how I was talking just before you arrived, that in the Ross Barkley deal, the emphasis for the purchasing club was to push the deal by one window, which is why he came out rapidly just before the end of the previous window. So the fee went sizably down, and the agent banked allegedly £7 million. Now, whether that goes to the player as well or whatever, but that was allegedly the agent's fee. That's going to happen more and more and more times. Sanchez was an example of it as well, where he banked circa 15 million. So
how can that be, John? That, you know, I know it's your. These guys are your friends, right? And I know it's a profession you're in. But how can, like, Riola, for instance, right, just bank £5 million or 7 or 10?
Because you're the agent, you're the influencer.
Because they work very hard for it.
You're the influencer. No, I can defend the work that they've done over the years. Riola, what he did with Pogba over the years, he's put his life and soul into him. And you're now the influencer in this deal. So I'm Mr. Chelsea, and I'm saying to you, you know what? He's going to cost me 25 million. Leave it another window. That goes down to 10. You've saved me 15 million. I'll split it with you. Words to that effect. And you sit there and go, yes, all right then. That's how it's similar to. It's not quite as simple as that, but
is that not money going out of the business, though, John? Going out of football.
Everything's money going out of football. The director's wages are money going out of football. Yeah. It's if you make the agents part of the game, if you bring them in, and we just talked about this before, maybe you even say, okay, come in, we'll listen to you, because we know where the money goes when it goes astray. So bring us in, we'll talk to you about it. The FA just pay lip service to us at the moment. We'll do all of that and become part of the game, and agents would even accept, we'll take 10%, 15%, whatever the figure might be, levy on our fees for each deal, becoming part of the game. We'll put that into a supporters trust fund, whatever, you know. So let's give back something so we can be part of it. None of the big agents would mind doing that because the numbers are that big.
So you'd say it's more the FA, Premier League who
you need to regulate properly. FIFA are doing this now. They're actually looking at it now, and they're saying, because you know a lot of the agents' fees are paid by the club, and then it becomes a benefit in kind for the player, who gets taxed the following year at 45%, but it's 45% of what the fee would have been. So FIFA are going to say in the next round they are going to regulate. In the next year or two they're going to go back into that again, and they're going to make sure that agents' fees get paid by the players only.
What about agents, John? And remember, don't forget to check John's book, The Deal. That's the name of it. A brilliant book. And I love speaking to him because you get a real insight into football agents. But what about agents that work for clubs? You've got some clubs that literally, half the players there are through one agent.
Yes, and that's grown out of where I was, and I was fortunately probably the biggest agent in the world for that period of time, probably for about 20 years. And we had lots of clubs that we were close to, like Liverpool, like Arsenal in my case, like Tottenham. Bizarrely, I was as much as I'm an Arsenal supporter. I was as close to Tottenham as I was to Arsenal in terms of my business. By the way, I think Tottenham have done good business this window. I think that 25 million.
Lucas Moura.
I think that's a good bit of business.
Yeah.
Because he's that quick. I mean, he can challenge Usain Bolt at the top end of the field.
Yeah, he's quick. He scored against us Arsenal last year in PSG. Yeah.
So you know the whole agents world is going to revolve, and it's going to it'll be more like what I've just described. There's going to be more of these types of deals. So you know we should not embrace it, but we should certainly learn to cohabit with that thought process. We've now got used to players earning £300,000 a week. You're going to have to get used to agents earning £5-10 million out of deals. Now,
I want to be an agent.
But,
it's not as easy as that, though, right?
But you know, at the front end of all that, now if you're a 16-year-old kid, 17-year-old kid, and you're good, you've got a queue of agents, and they're all offering you. It shouldn't be inducements. That's not the word I'm looking for. They're all offering you an advance on your earnings, like a publishing deal. So, you know, you're gonna have to put up that kind of money, and sometimes it's 6 and 7 figures now. So there's going to be 3 or 4, half a dozen big agents, and then a raft of little guys down here, and nothing in the middle.
Yeah,
and that's what it's going
to be.
And
that's never good, is it?
No. So it's going to.
Never good.
FIFA and the world of football need to get together with agents and start moulding that world, because it's not going to change. It's only going to grow bigger from this point on for the next couple of years until the next TV deal. And actually we've had this conversation, but I'm not actually sure now, listening to people, where that next TV deal might or might not go. Now that BT and Sky are sharing, that money might not grow. Amazon have actually said they're going into the grocery world. I mean, they will do football as well, but will they be that big in football? I don't know.
Could we eventually have where every team has their own TV channel?
I think that's a very good point, because if the authorities, if the broadcast companies don't come up with the sort of numbers they're looking for, there's no reason why the Premier League can't say we'll do it ourselves.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, John, I want to thank you for being here. I know you've been here for quite a while. I know your time is very valuable. Once again, tell us about where this event's going to be taking place with your book.
It's at the London Sporting Club, which is at the Capital Club in the City of London. It's February the 8th. I'm just answering questions from everybody and talking about what really goes on in the agency world of football, what is going on. The book is available in all good bookshops and Amazon.
And Amazon.
We do groceries and football.
So while you get your groceries, you can read the book. Listen, thank you very much, John, for coming in.
Thank you.
We're going to take a little break now. We're going to go over to Terry, and then we'll be coming back. We've got Drifty, Liverpool fan, in the house. He'll be really pleased by the results that have gone down tonight, particularly the one at Man United, I suspect. We'll be back in a minute.
Hello everybody, I'm here, I'm in the control room. These are the boys that fix our problems, sometimes create a few of them as well. Do you know who this man is? This is the guy that revealed DT's number to the world. Say hello, this is the man here who did that. But yeah, I hope you're enjoying tonight's show. Obviously very different from anything that I think's ever been out there from any other YouTube channel. The big matches on tonight. Disappointing results for Chelsea, losing 3-0. Man United also going 2-0 down at Spurs. And of course we're bringing you, there's been no real major transfer developments in the last sort of couple of hours or so. But great talk. Obviously we just had John on the air, and most of you probably haven't ever heard an agent talk, to be honest with you. Like, there's a few quotes often in newspapers, but unless you read their books, they're very often on the air, very often speaking. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed that. We're still going to be here for another hour or so plus. But you use the comment section, and actually, I'm going to be honest with you, come up with some proper good questions. Like asking DT or Robbie who they think is going to sign next. There's nothing really about it. Ask us some questions about problems at clubs. Ask us something with a little bit more meat to it, so that it can drum up a little bit of a debate. You must have those thoughts going through your head. But overall, overwhelmed as ever with all your support. These guys have been crazy. The phone's been ringing off the hook. Should we answer one? Hello? 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 Are you nervous? It's okay. You can talk to me, I'm not the Pope. Oh, he's gone. Some people, they ring up and they don't want to speak to you. But there we go. I think we're ready to go back into the other room now, I think. Are we? We're not ready? Yeah, we're ready. We're ready. We're ready to go across. I'm going to hand back across to Robbie, Claude and Drifty to take you through for another little bit of time. Take care.
No, we're not ready.
We're not ready, so I dance. So what am I going to do next? That's really bad dancing. That's the proper white man dancing.
We're ready now.
We're going to step back across. Thank you.
All right, we're live. We're back here. John's left the building. It's always really interesting to hear from John Smith. And don't forget to check out his book, The Deal. Drifty is in the building from the Football Banter channel. Liverpool fan. He's got a smile on his face because Manchester United have been beaten tonight by Tottenham. Actually, he's got a smile on his face because the results really have gone your way, innit, over the past couple of days for Liverpool in that battle to get in the top four. Arsenal losing last night, Chelsea losing, and Man United losing. I suppose the Tottenham one weren't the perfect result.
Yeah,
but
it was almost a perfect weekend. I think if that game would have been a draw, the Man U Spurs game, that would have been perfect. You know what I mean? But to be honest, the results of the other teams still isn't taking away how bad I feel that we're just twiddling our thumbs, sitting around watching everyone strengthened by people.
Yeah,
just acting like this is just okay. It's just like
I was going to ask you about the transfer window. You say that though, but you did buy a defender, £75 million, the most expensive defender in the world.
Yeah, but that was all that was like a delay. It was like he was meant to be here in the summer, and we just had to wait a little while. Like, it don't count. It doesn't count.
£75 million, the most expensive defender in the world. The guy that was, to be honest, most of the teams, I mean, we were like, at Arsenal, we were like, it'd be brilliant to get Virgil van Dijk in. You put off a bit of a coup by getting him in.
Oh,
so.
yeah, no doubt about it. Like, we're happy he's here. Phenomenal player. Hopefully, he will improve us. The way we play, I don't even know if he can save us. It's the system more than the individuals, in my opinion. But happy he's here, no doubt about it. So it's not discrediting the fact they did it, but we shouldn't have messed about and not had it done in the summer anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like, we should have just kept our mouth quiet. We basically, we tried to like big up our chest, show off we had him. It all got, you know what I mean, whatever. Whoever leaked it, messed it up. So he's come 5 months too late, 6 months too late. He should have been there from the beginning. So not that it doesn't count in that respect, but right now there should have been no signings. He should have been here for the whole season. And we should be kind of looking to strengthen. Listen, you lose Sturridge.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Literally, we're like, all our youth team players, like everyone's just been coming like, can we have a loan? Can we have a loan? We're just like letting everyone go. It's like, hold on, nobody coming in. Right?
What did you make of the Sturridge one going to West Brom? I mean, he wants game time. It's a bit like Giroud at Arsenal. He wants to play. It's a World Cup year. Giroud wants game time, so he's moved out. Same with Sturridge, isn't it? He wants to play. It's a World Cup year. He's not getting any game time at all under Klopp.
I get where he's coming from, 100%. When you're a player...
Sad to see him go there?
Oh, 100%. He's one of my favourite players. And regardless of whether he's injured, whether he's fit, whatever, just having him around. At the back end of last season, we lost Mahrez. Sturridge is one of the reasons we made fourth. Do you know what I mean? He came in, he scored some important goals, West Ham especially, and you need that type of guy. Everyone knows if he was fully fit and didn't have his injury problems, we'd actually be talking about probably top goal scorer every single season Harry Kane's won it. He would be up there. Like, I have no question about that. So having him around, it just would have helped. Do you know what I mean? Like, if we lose Firmino, I don't even know why I'm putting this in the universe. If we lose Firmino for any lengthy amount of time,
it's coming round.
say you got like a bad injury, 2, 3, 4 weeks. What are you telling me? Klopp's going to be okay with Solanke and Danny Ings to be the that? To me, that's a joke, and that's no disrespect to those guys. But Danny Ings is 2 years trying to recover from 2 ACL injuries, both not even the same leg, both. So both his legs have been gone. How is he supposed to get to a level to catch up with where we are? Solanke, I think he might be good in the future. He's not ready. 100% not ready. The pressure of like a Champions League game, he's not ready for that. And then if you want to push Mane or Salah up front, then who's going to play wide? Because we can't rely on Lallana. Lallana's pretty much cooked for the season. It's sad to say, but it seems like he is. So what are you going to do? Play Ox wide? But isn't Ox now the central? Like, we got no backup. I don't get it.
I think you know what? Ox I've never seen as a central player.
I think he's better central.
I saw him play a few times centrally for Arsenal.
Do you know what it is with
what
Ox?
about the game against, what was it, AC Milan? I thought he was fantastic in that game.
That's one game, Claude.
You
know
what if you don't keep playing him, I mean, if you keep dropping him, we've got a call here.
We've got a call. I think it's a Man United fan we got there. Hello?
There we go.
Hello?
Hello.
Have you put
How you doing? We've got a Man United fan there. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, probably doing a little bit better than you. I've kind of recovered from our defeat last night. But what happened to your guys tonight? I mean, I thought you'd put up a better fight against Tottenham.
To be honest, I'd rather not talk about it. It's so good. What I do want to talk about is the Alexis Sanchez deal.
Yeah.
And also the deal with Mesut Ozil and the hypocrisy in the media.
Okay.
So Alexis Sanchez signed a deal for £350,000 a week, which was reported by Terry, which I'm assuming is sat next to you. Is that correct?
Well, he's in the other studio at the moment, but yes.
Yep. Mesut Ozil signs a £350,000 a week deal, and the media doesn't seem to react to it. And one's moving for money and one's moving for ambition. I don't understand the relevance in these different scenarios.
Well, I don't know. I think if you look on it, the reported deal for Alexis Sanchez is supposed to be more than £350,000 a week. They're saying that with all these sort of add-ons and everything.
Add-ons, yeah. But
yeah, with all the add-ons and that, it'd be getting about £450. But I think what the thing is, I think with the Alexis Sanchez one is that he specifically said, right, I want to go because I want to win trophies, right?
Yeah.
So I want to leave. And then it was all lined up that he was going to Manchester City, play under Pep Guardiola. You're guaranteed, literally, an absolute disaster. You're guaranteed if you move to Manchester City this season, you're going to win the league. So that's a trophy backed already, right? Plus, they're in.
Isn't that a plus point in Alexis' pocket because he didn't go to a guaranteed? So he's not. It's not.
No. Hold on. Let me just finish my point. What I'm going to say. This is why I feel the media were on this one, right? Because it's what he said. Trophies. I want trophies in my career. It was all lined up for him to go to Manchester City. All the negotiations have been going on. Not just now. They've been going on since the summer, where Manchester City wanted to bring him in. He wanted to go to Manchester City. Manchester United pulled off a coup, don't get me wrong, by doing this. It was brilliant business by them. But at the end of the day, the reason why he changed his mind and didn't go to Manchester City is because Manchester United offered him a hell of a lot of more money.
Yeah, but also, Robbie, in a
They
minute.
didn't do that at the same time.
Also, Robbie, what you've got to
He would
understand.
have gone for free in the summer. He would have gone for free in the summer and a £10 to £50 million transfer, obviously add-on bonus for signing for free. And then obviously Manchester City were offering like £50,000 to £60,000 a week less. So if you look at these,
sorry, mate. Sorry, if you can just speak a bit further away from your phone, so that we can hear you a bit clearer. Yeah. Say that again. I missed that last point you made.
So obviously, if he'd gone for free in the summer, there would have been a signing-on bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah. The signing-on bonus is equivalent to maybe a year's salary, maybe more.
Right.
So the length of his contract at Manchester City were offering almost the same money if you actually looked at it to the full extent. He didn't choose City because he wanted to join United. I'm not saying that's a good decision. I'm a United fan. I'm not saying that's a good decision. All I'm saying is I don't like the fact that Manchester City are spending money which they do not earn, whereas Arsenal and Liverpool, etc., and even Spurs, I know you hate Spurs, but even Spurs, who are doing it from the youth, are basically having to, I don't know, play second fiddle because it's just not fair. I'm not saying because obviously United spend a lot of money. Obviously United spend a lot of money, and I could never take that away from anybody's argument.
Yeah, I mean it is a bit ridiculous. I mean, Claude,
I also think
and Drifty, the way Manchester City are able to spend money at the moment. I mean, we heard John saying that they're going to be bringing in new regulations, but the fact that Sane's injured, they just Mahrez, they're going after Mahrez straight away. I mean, the money they got's unreal, isn't it?
You know what though? Even though I'm jealous of it, because I wish my club could do it, it doesn't bother me. I don't know. Maybe I'm so used to Chelsea doing it for all them years. I don't know. It doesn't really bother me. I just think that's just a game now, isn't it? Everyone just like, do you know what I mean? It's just because they've got like a sister company. That
is that fair though? Is that fair? I mean, they've got this great academy at Manchester City, for instance.
It's not.
They've got an injury to Sane. They've got an injury to Sane. why not bring in somebody from out the youth team?
I mean,
thanks for the call, by the way, mate. Thank you.
Also, what I've got to say.
Thanks for your call, mate.
I've got to say, finish on that.
Say one more thing.
I also think that he's guaranteed a place at Man United. That's what I think was the main reason he started. The main reason I think he went to Man United because he was guaranteed to play every week, and I know Alexis wants to play every week.
I kind of agree with that. It was a combination of both. And
how is he guaranteed to play every week?
I think he's more guaranteed than would have Man City.
Their team isn't good enough. He walks into the United team. He don't walk into the Man City team, and I think he knew that. Plus, I think Arsenal kind of were like, oh, we can get Mkhitaryan. I think we need to get in his ear and make him go United, because Arsenal got a way better deal out of this. Do you know how hard
they did get a way better deal?
Do you know how hard it would have been for Arsenal to have gone and found a player of Mkhitaryan's quality with the money you were going to get? What was it, 20 mil or something? You would.
No, it's an excellent deal for Arsenal, and you know, Arsenal have done excellent business with this whole thing. We've got another call coming through. I think it's a Chelsea fan. Have we got him? Let's see if we got the Chelsea fan. How you doing, mate? Is that the Chelsea fan?
It is, yeah.
Sorry, what's your name, mate?
My name's Ashley.
Ashley, what happened tonight?
It was shocking, really, wasn't it? Let's be honest.
I must admit, I couldn't believe that result. I mean, 3-0 at home. I mean,
it's a betting man's dream.
It's unbelievable result.
By
the way, sorry, mate. Can you just turn down the background noise?
Yeah, I've turned it off. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
My main consensus was, I mean, you got a few little dinner plates in the old conversation for YouTube talking about Conte out and all this sort of stuff, and which is ludicrous. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Do you think we've got kind of the same position that you guys have got with Xhaka, with Bakayoko? Because he's absolutely useless.
Yeah, I think the thing is, though, I don't know, I'd say our situation is probably a little worse with Xhaka because he's been there longer. Bakayoko's only just gone to Chelsea, hasn't he? And I must admit, when I saw Bakayoko playing last year for Monaco, I wanted him at Arsenal. He looked outstanding. What did you make of him?
It's Chelsea's system, if I'm honest with you. I feel like some people fit the system, some people don't. You know what I mean? And Bakayoko, like you said, he was amazing last year. Everyone wanted
I think
him.
with Chelsea, I think they've got the same problems on and off the pitch as Arsenal at the moment. I really do.
Well, it's for me, it's kind of weird because obviously I watch your Arsenal fan TV with you guys. I watch it all the time.
Yeah.
And you guys, I enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to disrespect Arsenal because that's not the way I roll. But you know, you guys do make valid points. You know, your board are terrible. All they really care about is money. But I'm kind of getting a little bit concerned when it comes to Chelsea that the fact of these transfers that are being, you know, Conte's quite clearly made his point that he has no say on transfers.
I was gonna ask you, what have you made of the Giroud thing? I mean, really out of the blue. Giroud going it seemed to me tonight, it looked strange to see Giroud in the Chelsea kit. It just looks really strange. He looked happy, but what I can't understand with his Chelsea deal is that Giroud he's obviously moved because he wants to get game time. He's not now that they've got Aubameyang and Lacazette, Welbeck as well. He's not going to get much game time at Arsenal. But is he going to get a lot of game time at Chelsea? Because once Morata's fit, surely he goes straight back in, doesn't he?
Well, the thing is, if you compare Giroud, Dzeko was obviously cup tied, so he can't play in the Champions League.
Good point.
So it will probably get some game time in the Champions League. That's fine. But if you look at in comparison to his hold-up play to Morata's, it's much better. Let's not lie about it because it is. But if you look at as from a Chelsea fan perspective, if you've got the likes of Peter Crouch, Ashley Barnes, you know, being linked to your club, I think you're all day long.
The other thing is as well, when you guys played us last week, at the start of the game, when you sort of went with that system with a false 9, and you had like, you know, Willian there, Hazard, Pedro, I thought, I mean, you were ripping us apart. It was frightening, and I was looking at it and thinking maybe that is even a better option.
Well, even the League Cup semi-final. I mean, once
Yeah, but
William went off.
Yeah,
we get that a lot. I mean, I think it's very common knowledge that Batshuayi was, I think, it was third choice.
Mm.
You know, we'd much rather play William, Pedro, Eden up front, and today as well. Like even today, let's not break it down. Because obviously William wasn't playing because he's injured. You know, we've got Barker. Barker had a great game, but we still tick him off to have two defensive midfield. Why do we need two defensive midfielders? I'm confused. I don't get it.
Do you think you've given Batshuayi a fair chance, though? I mean, it's his first real season, isn't it?
He's a good
player. I totally agree with you, bud. You're talking absolute sense. We haven't, no.
No, and he scored 2 goals the other day, didn't he? Looked quite good the other day.
But you look at the fact we've had it in the past. You look at Remy. Remy did a good job every time he came on. Even I know you have mentioned the old Danny Sturridge. Sturridge did a good job. The only reason he didn't fulfil his potential at Chelsea is because we kept playing him on the wings. He's not a winger. He's a striker.
Well, listen, thank you very much for your call.
Fuming.
Yeah, I know you must be.
At least you've got the chat. You've got the Champions League.
I know how it feels, mate. We were there last night at Swansea, so I know how you must feel. So,
but you take care.
Take care, mate. Thanks very much for your call. Claude, you're out, mate.
I'm out.
You're out. I've just had a signal here that says we're swapping Claude for Savage Dan. You're gone, mate.
I'm out.
You're like Giroud. You're like Giroud. You're
I've been savaged. Right.
You're like, you know what happened to Giroud?
Yeah.
You've been bombed out.
All right.
But thank you very much
that's all right, mate.
for your contribution. You know, and you did say Giroud was a lamppost.
No, I've never said that. No. Rubbish. That was my brother.
So listen, we're going to switch to the other studio. Claude's going to be coming out. We're going back to Terry over there. We're going to be coming back with Savage. We've still got Drifty here for the Football Banter Show as well. I'm enjoying this, you know. I'm loving. Keep those calls coming through. We got all the transfer news here. Lots of transfer activity. The big news: Aubameyang. That's the big one today, isn't it? Let's face it.
Yeah, do you know what? I'm getting a bit worried though. Robbie's getting too comfortable in my chair. Robbie's getting too comfortable in my chair. I'm getting a little bit worried because he's obviously very, very good at this. But remember your calls. We love your calls coming in. Having a bit of a switch over now. More new people coming into things. I'm getting some verb in here. I'm getting some playback in this room. The geeks haven't sorted it out yet.
You want to try another call?
I don't know, which one of you is meant to be sorting this out?
It's sorted though.
This man. Oh, it's gone now. He's sorted it out. He's clicked the right button. There we go. I hope you're all still enjoying this live stream. We can't actually pick the camera up, but you can see through here there's like another green room in here. All the people are in this room. Can you see them?
There's towels in there.
There we go. Claude said because he couldn't. Claude, they're talking about Claude here and Sophie again. Sophie was obviously a big figure the other night. Claude got Sophie. No, that's a joke. He didn't. There we go. Yeah, mate, come here. I love this geezer. Honestly, I know my dad's here, but I don't love him as much as my dad. But I do love this geezer. Probably the most truthful Arsenal fan out there. Not biased in what he speaks about. Still misses Alexis Sanchez, although he was pretty poor tonight for Man United. Pogba got pulled off in that game after like 60 minutes.
Right.
Madness. I don't know why. And then Juan Mata come on, they battered us. But interesting week. Happy with the end of Arsenal's transfer window?
Well, I think we would. I would rather got as well as I would have wanted as a defender as well.
Yeah.
And I think we're missing defensive midfield player as well.
Yeah, that's needed.
So,
me and DT were saying earlier on summer.
Do you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to be truthful with you. I would have swapped, right, him going last night, right, for us not getting anyone. That's how I feel. I feel really bad about last night. One embarrassment too much.
Well, I know that the transfers are really good, but I sort of said this earlier and last night to a lot of Arsenal fans. Don't let the euphoria and excitement of these players coming in mask the fact there are still huge problems at that club.
Yeah, football's won on the pitch, not on the transfer window.
I was saying, there's been great transfers done by all clubs and they've flopped. I mean, look at Chelsea, how much money they've spent this season. They've gone and got battered again tonight.
What was worrying was that last night's performance was very worrying. And I think it's now time that we the one big change I really think we should have had was the manager.
No, I agree. We're going to now go back to Robbie and the boys in the studio. Take care, God bless, and see you all soon.
No, we're not going back yet.
We're not going back yet again. Every time he says we're going back, we're not. Are we back?
Wait,
Are we back?
We're still live. You're still live.
Let me let them know now.
Oh, well, we're not back yet. See, this is live TV, live streaming. I can't really dance, you know what I mean? So it's one of them ones. Yeah, these jeans are very...
Yeah.
Here we are, we're back. We're back in the studio. We've got Savage Dan, who's just joined us, Chelsea fan. He's not looking too happy.
Not
too
happy
pleased.
today, but I suppose you're not that happy either.
Yeah, I'm not happy either. Well, actually, no. Yesterday I was not happy, but I'm kind of happy with the business that we've done today, Arsenal. I think I can't believe it's so un-Arsenal-like for us to have done these brilliant deals on, you know, in this transfer window. Chelsea's dealings, Batshuayi going out. First of all, he's going to Borussia Dortmund, and Olivier Giroud. What have you made of it?
So this has gone tits up since the summer. We've just been weakening ourselves, if I'm honest. Costa's gonna go. Of course, he was gonna go.
Mad.
That's a big miss.
That was mad.
That's a
So
big
today,
miss.
games like today, when you need a big man to lift you, you don't have it. You just don't have it. We didn't have a striker in the squad today. And sometimes you need a Costa to just battle it out and just drag you through these matches. Morata obviously is a decent player, good player, very good player, but he doesn't have that fight in him that can really win you stuff. We got rid of Matic and brought in Bakayoko. I think that's a weakening.
Seemed good at the time though. It did
Do you
seem
know
good
what?
at the time.
It's hard to tell when you're coming from the French league. It is. It's hard to tell. The Premier League is a different beast, and it will find you out if you're not careful.
What has been his weaknesses, Bakayoko? Because obviously I don't watch him every week, but I know that when I was watching him last season, he looked a baller. He was everywhere.
It's a one-team league. The league's won by November in France. It's not the same kind of difficulty.
No, but but you say that, but even in the Champions League, he was excellent. I mean,
I think he had a freedom, and maybe you see some players thrive better in environments where there's slightly less pressure. When you come to Chelsea, there's a big pressure on you, especially if you're replacing Matic. I don't really see what he has, and he has glimpses, but when he makes mistakes, they're big mistakes usually, and then all of a sudden the opposition's straight onto the back three. So he can't afford to make these kind of mistakes. Also, when he gets on the ball, I feel like he can't pick a pass. He can play the simple passes that my little brother can make. Midfielders, I feel like if you're a midfielder as well, number one rule is that your opponent can't just run off you. I feel like if someone plays a pass out wide and they just go for a walk, Bakayoko's not tracking them. And yeah, I feel like that's a big. I feel like games are won in the midfield. So that part of the pitch is very important that things are done right. So
by the way, just looking at some of the transfer business, Andre Ayew's rejoined Swansea. His brothers, I tell you what, he ripped us apart last night, Jordan Ayew. But Andre Ayew was there before and he was doing very well. Went to West Ham, it hasn't really done him well, so it's a good move for you?
For Swansea? For him, I don't get it. I mean, unless he wants to play with his brother again. I mean, he's downgrading team-wise, so it's a bit crazy. Although maybe he feels he shouldn't have left. I don't know, unfinished business. I don't know. It's good for Swansea, though. He's a top player. I would have took him as backup at Liverpool 2 years ago.
What about this one? Islam Slimani has left Leicester and gone to Newcastle on loan.
It's a bit of a weird one.
Good in the air he is.
He is.
Slimani, really good in it. Not as great on the floor, but in the air.
Decent striker. He is a decent striker.
If you get the balls into him.
And Newcastle need something like that right now. And they picked up Kennedy as well.
That could
so
work
they're
out
just trying to
good deal Kennedy.
Yeah.
Looks a good player.
He is a good player. But I don't think he's Chelsea standard. I've been spoilt for the last 10, 15 years, and I'm used to the best players and winning leagues, etc., etc. So when I see Chelsea going in for Ashley Barnes and Andy Carroll, I'm looking over there.
Right? That was a
I'm looking over there.
They were seriously looking at Crouch.
They must have been joking. That must have just all been like banter for the sake of it.
Go get Dion Dublin. If that's what you're after, go and get Dion Dublin.
You know what? Just quickly, as a Chelsea man, maybe you can answer this. You've got 3 of the fastest players in the league. Yeah, you got Pedro, you got Hazard, you got Willian.
Yeah.
Why don't you play them all together with Morata?
We do, but the system slightly changed this year.
because not that we got found out with the 3-4-3, but
excuse me,
because Marat is coming to into the side, Hazard kind of plays as a kind of backup striker right now, and then we only have, well, Conte is only willing to play one of the other kind of flair players.
Yeah, but
listen, guys, I'm just
when Chelsea played
listen,
against
guys, I'm just
Arsenal.
going to jump in. We got a call here. I think it's an Arsenal fan on the line.
Oh, no.
Is it Arsenal fan? You there?
Hi, I'm there.
Hi. What's your name?
Hi, my name is Abdullah. I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm calling all the way from Pakistan, Robbie.
From Pakistan. Oh, it's great to have you on the line. What did you want to talk about?
I want to talk about the transfer window for Arsenal, and I have to say, this has been one of the best transfer windows for Arsenal for a long, long time.
Definitely.
For many reasons, Robbie.
Yeah.
Because for years we have been shouting and we've been criticizing Walcott and Giroud and all these deadwood that they are good players and they are loyal to the club, but they're not good enough for Arsenal, and we have to take them off the wage bill, and we have to sell them. And finally, we are getting that, and we are signing world-class players, Aubameyang and Mkhitaryan. I think Mkhitaryan is a top-class player because I think he's very underrated because of his time in United. But if you look at his performance at Borussia Dortmund with Aubameyang, he really seemed like a world-class player, and I'm really happy. I'm hearing that Ozil has signed, and
yes,
if
he
it
has.
is true, it has to be the best thing about today. I mean, I love Aubameyang, but Ozil, he was the one who ended the drought, in my opinion. He was the one who ended the drought, not Alexis.
Yeah.
And because I haven't seen any confirmation from the official Arsenal page, I'm still.
No, he has 100%. He has signed a new deal.
Yeah,
Mr. Ozil. So
that's wonderful to hear. That's absolutely wonderful.
I was hearing today as well that Jack Wilshere's is going to follow him by signing on as well, which is again that would be great.
Yeah, I mean you have to make him the captain of the club. The passion that he carries on the pitch. I was listening to Claude, Mr. Claude from Arsenal Fan TV, and he said that he's sad to see Giroud go, but you have to take a lot of things into consideration that obviously he wants to get into the French national squad, and with Aubameyang, Lacazette, and with Welbeck as well, he won't get that chance, and he had to stay in London.
Do you think
to see him go?
Do you think with the Giroud thing that the only thing is also running a risk in that the Europa League, Aubameyang's cup tied, he can't play in the Europa League, so we could be short of players in that Europa League. You've got Lacazette obviously can play in there, Welbeck can play in there, but if anything happens to them two, we're going to be very short in that Europa League.
There's no number two. Giroud was for me the best number two in probably the world. No one has quite an impact on the game as a substitute than Giroud. I can make you count a lot of times where he just saved Arsenal's ass, man. Really. It's sad to see him go, but that's how life is.
Yeah, the problem is he didn't want to play as a number two. Strikers don't want to be known as number twos and backups. Maybe when they're coming right to the end of their career. But I think he wanted to be the number one. And let's face it, Olivier Giroud, even last season, before we bought in Lacazette, he wasn't playing full games, was he? He was...
Yes. He only scored 13, 14 goals.
Yeah.
There's one more thing I want to add is that what's up with Stan Kroenke, and why is he still the owner of the club? All the clubs that he is
making a lot of money.
Yeah. Of course.
You heard John Smith earlier. You heard John Smith earlier. I don't know if you heard John Smith earlier, the football agent who was on it. He said basically that when the club was worth £500 million when he took over. It's now worth over $1 billion. He's doubled his money. That's why he owns Arsenal Football Club. That's why he's not willing to sell it.
I want an owner like the Chelsea owner, Roman Abramovich. How he's so passionate about the club. There's one more thing I want to ask you, Robbie, because you're so knowledgeable, and I'm a huge fan of Arsenal Fan TV. By the way, and in Pakistan the following is immense. There's one more thing I want to ask you: is it true that Wenger has verbally contacted Carlo Ancelotti, and whether he will take over Arsene Wenger in the future. Is there? Can you make a video on that or something like that to?
There's a there's a lot of talk about that. Listen, nobody can confirm that. Nobody can because remember last year, a lot of people thought that Arsene Wenger was going to leave last year, and he ended up signing on for another 2 years. I think the only person who knows whether Arsene Wenger is going to stay or not is himself and maybe Stan Kroenke. But there are a lot of rumours going around, and you heard again John Smith, who's very knowledgeable on these things. I can tell you that, and is very connected at Arsenal, and he was sort of suggesting that this could possibly be Arsene Wenger's last year. That a lot of signings that are being made are, normally he's got complete control over it. It seems like this time a lot of those deals are being done despite him, and there's kind of a succession plan going on at the moment, and who knows, maybe Ancelotti, who, like John said, nobody's sort of coming for him. There's been a lot of vacancies out there. Maybe Ancelotti does have a verbal agreement, but no, I'm not going to pretend to confirm that. Listen, thank you very much for your call all the way from Pakistan. We really appreciate it. Keep supporting Arsenal, mate. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
That's a great call there. Listen, the deals, guys, right, that have been done. Let's take a look at some of the deals. The biggest deals over the transfer window, I'd say the three biggest, we'd have to say, is Virgil van Dijk, which is the most expensive deal done, right? Alexis Sanchez to Manchester United from Arsenal, and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang from Dortmund to Arsenal. Which deal out of those three would you say was the best deal?
Aubameyang.
You think Aubameyang?
Yeah. I don't really get jealous of other teams very often, but that one there is winding me up. Like, it's winding me up. I'm just glad we don't have to play you lot.
I think Aubameyang, I think he suits Arsenal. I think he really does suit Arsenal. But I think the best deal was the Sanchez one. How United got him, when you got him, and what the price they paid to get him, which basically nothing. It's a good deal for Arsenal because obviously he's going to leave in the summer anyway, and it's a good deal for United. But I think he is a game changer, and he will change games on his own. He's obviously not had the greatest game today, but he will come good. I don't think you've sold United a dud.
No way. He's a quality player. You know what? I think just before I get to you, Drifty, I actually thought that the Van Dijk one as well, because you got a problem, which is the difference with our one. Yes, Aubameyang is a fantastic signing. I'm really excited to see him playing that, but we've still got a serious problem at the back. That doesn't solve it. I think in Liverpool's case, you've got a problem at the back. That's the obvious problem. And the Van Dijk signing has been brought in to sort that problem out. So
I mean, that's
it could over a period of time be the best signing.
That's what I was going to say. Like, it's not the best signing in terms of glamour, because that's why I'm saying Aubameyang. Do you know what I mean? That's the glamour, it's the glitz, world-class striker. But if you're talking about what's needed, it probably is Van Dijk, because out of all of those signings, he is definitely the most needed at the club out of all of those. You know what I mean? So I hope he comes good, but I think it's our system. I don't actually think it's so much the individuals. Lovren and Matip aren't bad defenders, you know. Look at their previous clubs. It's the system. We attack so much. When you're a defender in our club, it's panic stations as soon as the ball comes in our area, because we're not used to doing it, and they're not.
Well, remember, it's not always just defenders that have to defend, isn't it? It's the DMs, it's the midfielders.
Your defence that was last season was so good. That was the thing about Chelsea.
Do you know what? I think
it was so good,
it's
and
a
then all of a
mentality
sudden,
thing. It's a mentality thing, and there's a reason that only 2 teams have retained the league, because it takes a lot out of you mentally. So it's the same team, you know. We won the league, and then the next season we finished 10th with the same team. So it is, a lot of it is meant. That was bad. But you know what? It's all right. I'm all right. I'll give Chelsea till 2021 when we've got our new stadium, new income. And we can start stealing players from underneath people's noses.
Listen, Dan, it's been a pleasure to have you on. We're about to do another one of our swap. You know what? We're doing more swap deals than Arsenal at the moment. You know what I mean? Right, so we're going to swap you for both of you are getting swapped.
double.
You're both going out on loan, man.
It's a double substitution.
They're both going out on loan, right? And we're bringing in DT, and we're bringing in back in Terry. Terry's going to come back in the hot seat. He's the main man. All right. So, Claude. Claude's coming back in. All right. So Claude's coming back. I think I'm getting swapped out. I'm getting loaned out as well. So, no, I'm getting another signal here. Oh, so we're going to go to Claude. So let's go. We're going to go to the other studio on Claude. He's still got to explain to me about Giroud. He hasn't explained yet the lamppost that he now loves. So, Claude, over to you, son.
I don't know what you're on. I do not know what you're on about, Robbie. You're talking rubbish as normal. Anyway, so would you...
Just talk to them. Would you want to step on Foco? You want to speak to any of the fans?
Yeah, I want to just say that everyone is going on. It's a great window. It's a great window for me. It's.
Are you happy with the transfers that your team made? Are you happy with that?
I'm happy, but I think we should have got a defender as well. I really do. I really think. After that shambles last night, I thought it was shambles last night.
Do you think you need a defender or a keeper or both? Are you happy with Czech, the way he's doing? Because he's not the way he was to be.
No, the goalkeeper as well. Yeah, that needs to be changed as well. I think he's come to an end as well. Yeah. I also believe carrying on about last night. I mean, it's one embarrassing performance too many now. It's got really to a point where I actually said today, and I said I would have swapped Wenger leaving last night for us not buying a player today. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. I mean, we've got a Chelsea fan here.
Well, I'm also a Chelsea fan. We're all Chelsea fans.
Are we on? Are we live?
Chelsea fan?
Yeah,
Chelsea fan?
Yeah. We've got a Chelsea fan here. I mean, can you explain tonight? Can you really explain it?
Nah, but when you go to Bournemouth, or no, when you're at home to Bournemouth, you need a big man up top. And we didn't even have one on the bench today. Do you know what the strikers
Happy with Giroud?
I'm happy, yeah, but I'd prefer to keep Batshuayi so that Arsenal don't get Aubameyang. I don't want to strengthen the opposition.
I think Batshuayi has not been given a fair go.
I don't think. And do you know what? And every time he has, he's not the greatest
We're swapping
footballer.
in 5 seconds. You can hear
He's
me,
not the
right?
greatest footballer, but
can you explain how
he's a striker. He's instinctive.
How can you lose 3-0 to a club team?
Hello, welcome back to FanPark Live. I was told we had a 30-second count-in, and then I was told we're going absolutely live. DT's back in the studio, Robbie, of course, as well. Jesus, I feel a bit...
You got a lollipop in his mouth.
I didn't think that was coming back in.
Yeah, well, yeah, we got sent back across really quickly. Obviously, these boys happy. I mean, I know the result yesterday obviously dampened things a bit, but it's been a great transfer window for you all. I know you guys have been talking about it in the other groups. Supposedly another bid's just gone in for Johnny Evans. I don't know if anybody can clarify that for us, but you just said there a second ago it's you feel that Arsenal need a sort of centre back on another player.
I would have liked to have seen Arsenal get a defender in. You know, I know it's difficult to get the quality of defender you want, but I was thinking that Johnny Evans was doable. And I must admit that in the summer when we were speaking about Johnny Evans, nearly every Arsenal fan that I spoke to, like, Johnny Evans, what? But seeing us defending this season, I think we definitely need an experienced Premier League ready defender. And I think Johnny Evans would have been that guy. So, you know, I wouldn't have been against him coming in, but, you know, the window's about to shut. It's not looking like it's going to happen. So maybe that could be something for the summer. Definitely, I think that the next stages of what we're going to see at Arsenal is them strengthening the defence. If we remember rightly, I was thinking about this today. We were trying to shift out Mustafi in the summer.
Yeah, near deadline day. I remember doing a video.
You know what I mean?
That,
so that shows that they didn't fancy Mustafi, and he's not really. He's a funny player, isn't he, DT? Sometimes in games he can be outstanding. Then another game he just makes so many mistakes. So I don't know. It's a real weird one, but would love to see him. There's been the Costas Manolos one as well.
Yeah, like Robbie was just saying. 1 week Mustafi can look world class, and a week later he can look like Gus Caesar.
Yeah, do you know what though? There's a lot of players. There's a lot of players like that.
You know.
Yeah.
You're getting a lot of these youngsters going to go and have to Google Gus Caesar now, and they're going to find out.
There's going to be a lot of footage of him somehow. But Costas Manolos would have been. We've been after him for years as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I think
even before he went to Roma, Arsenal.
But apparently, we would have had to pay the whole fee up front. That's what Roma wanted. Yeah, you can have him, but you got to pay it all up front. And you know how we work.
Mm.
I mean, you know, Ivan's not going to go rocking up to Rome with a
they've got
briefcase.
cash, haven't they? How much did they want for him?
30 odd or
They
something?
should be doing it.
About 30 odd million or something?
Just so everyone knows, 5 minutes left of the transfer window. If anything is going to happen at Arsenal Football Club, if Chelsea are actually going to go out and buy someone that's going to stop them hemorrhaging goals, maybe Jose Mourinho wants to sell Alexis Sanchez after tonight's performance. Maybe something's going to happen in the last few minutes. It's got to happen soon. Yeah, all right. Well, do you know what? I didn't watch the whole game because we obviously were live on the air, but he weren't the worst player on the pitch defensively. Yeah. It was Phil Jones and Chris Smalling. They need to be cut out. We've got a call. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name, buddy?
My name is Usman.
Usman, are you sure? You had to think about that. Hello, mate. Good evening. What do you want to say tonight? What's on your mind?
50-50. I'm really excited about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, but also we've got problems at the back we haven't addressed, and we still got Arsene Wenger as our manager.
Yeah, look, I think we know all this. The issue is that you've got to... I mean, I'm going to speak as a complete neutral to the situation. You weren't going to fix all those problems in one window. Wenger is not going anywhere until at least the end of the season. So I think you've got to be happy with the business that's been done. I would say don't get carried away and don't get too hyped up on everything because Aubameyang might score goals, but you're still going to end up... You're still going to have some games like the Swansea game again this season. I think it's going to happen still. The reaction's still good. These guys are still going to be out there at these stadiums getting frustrated, but at least the club looks like it's building for the future. Maybe building post-Wenger, maybe.
Yeah. I've said that. Do you remember months ago I turned around and said I thought Wenger would go at the end of the season? You went, no.
Did I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
You know what I mean? And it's
you
like,
did say that. You did say that.
And even the likes of John coming on here and saying it, and John knows him personally, and they're friends, and even he feels... This could be it.
And certainly you look at the transfer dealings at the moment and you do start to think to yourself, I mean, this whole window is not typical Wenger.
No.
You know? And some of the players that have gone out have been Wenger stalwarts. You know, Walcott.
Coquelin.
You know, Coquelin. Giroud. You know, these are guys that are like...
Players that he would have probably determined and went, no, I don't want to get rid of them.
Yeah.
Give them another year.
Maybe they are thinking about it. By the way, we had to put to bed a little bit of a rumour that's become a bit of a... It's gone mad, actually, on social media, the comments on here. DT earlier said that he'd like Arsenal to sign Manolas. Since then, people are saying that he's coming, there's a bid going in. It's gone a little bit viral. It just shows how you didn't even say you were signing. You said... I'd like him to come.
It's ITK, isn't he?
Literally.
It's like when everyone says I get arrested after I've done an interview.
Just on that, I just got a text from one of the guys outside, Jack Goldman. He said, he goes, a jet has landed in Luton from Rome. There's chance of Manolas having an extension. So
yeah, but there's about 10. I think there's about 5 aeroplanes an hour that land from Rome into UK airports. Yeah. I guarantee you, Manolas.
It was fantastic yesterday how the Arsenal fans tracked Aubameyang's plane. There was over 32,000 people tracking his private jet coming into Luton Airport.
I reckon if they got an Arsenal fan to look for Madeleine McCann, we'd find her.
Oh, I'll tell you what.
I'm just saying.
Oh, fuck my boots. We went all night, and then DT drops that motherfucker on us.
Jim White can't ever drop nothing like that, can he?
Sorry.
Okay, thank you so much for tuning in to FanPark Live. It was a great 2 months that we've had here. We're going to have to come back, rebranded, renamed, new location.
Oh my God!
Yeah. Fuck my life.
You know what? Some of the investigation work by the way some of the Arsenal fans.
I thought you were going to talk about the case then. Some of the investigation work into her going missing was terrible.
No.
Jesus, we've gone on a whole new level here.
I'm talking about.
I know.
I'm talking about how Arsenal fans, managed to decipher either the video.
No, exactly.
Mkhitaryan talking and stuff like that. I mean,
but it was a bit like when Pogba signed. I remember that the music video got released, and within 5 minutes. People were like, that video was made 2 months ago because that was his haircut 2 months ago. And it was
30
like...
seconds.
30 seconds, that's a long time for me. For the window here, Crystal Palace believe it's too late to sign Lille captain, is that Amandu. Why are they leaving it until 30 seconds? Why do these clubs do this? You had all day to get it done. Palace weren't even playing today. Davy Class. That's it. There's 5, 7, 6, 5. Feels like Thunderbirds. 3, 2, and 1. It's over.
The window is closed.
The window's closed. That's it now. No more fake rumours from my YouTube channel for another 2.5 months. I love transfer window.
The IT case can take about 3 months off now.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Well, do you know what? They last about 2 days. It goes quiet, and then they start talking about the summer deals pretty much straight away. But it was obviously great having John on earlier to give some real insight into what players are really being paid, how transfer deals work. And I mean, obviously the viewers watching, I think from our point of view, we all...
Real insight, wasn't it?
Yeah, we all guess how it works and we listen to the press, but this man pioneered it. The systems, the way that you heard about the way some of the players are paid in terms of if they don't last on the pitch for more than 60 minutes, they might earn less money. Maybe that shows why there's a lot of tantrums from players sometimes.
Do you know what is good as well is that there is no real in the know out there.
No.
You know, people claiming that they've got links here and there, and the simple fact is that you can hear little things if you know people at a club, but the info you get is what the club want you to hear. You know, certain things that are going on with the deal, the only people that are going to know about them are Ivan Gazidis, Arsene Wenger, Stan Kroenke, and people like John if he's the agent of the player involved. You know, so any information that people do come out with, it's because it's been leaked. That's the information they don't mind you having.
Of course. So, not all the time. Not all the time. You do pick up things from, you know, what people have heard around
some
clubs
are
and stuff like that.
Some things are accidental. Because we saw it yesterday. Our club photographer Stuart was actually on another coach going to Swansea, and he happened to be editing photos of Aubameyang. And someone was sat on him, behind him at the coach, and filmed it.
I think some people do have inside information in terms of what jobs they do, where they work. Someone myself who works with some football players, not loads, and it's one of those things where you get certain bits of information, and even then, it's within the industry. You don't phone them up and go, "Are you moving clubs?" Because they'll never tell you. But you sort of get a bit of an idea if somebody moves an appointment, or if they want to look at buying. Like example being when Xhaka was. It was tipped that Xhaka was going to leave. What a lot of us knew because of estate agents coming to us looking at mortgages is that he was looking for a house. Very rarely would a player buy a house if there was big rumours about him leaving, if that makes sense. So you kind of, you don't ask the question, but you put 2 and 2 together and you think, I don't think he's going. In the summer, Martial was linked with a move away, but his girlfriend just moved over from France and settled in the UK permanently. Why would that be happening if he was going to swan off to Spain? So you hear little things like that and you can sort of put 2 and 2 together. But I think, as you know, the likes of, generally speaking, people like John know their stuff. Some journalists, I think, are connected. He was saying, didn't he, that they'll give certain bits of information out. But half the time, it literally is just, you know, especially if you read it on...
There we go.
One-on-one goals.
It's just gone up. DT arrested.
he might be after the Madeleine McCann comment.
Well, there you go. Do you know what I mean? But it's like... Listen,
Khan here says Robbie for centre back.
You know what? I heard that Arsenal tried to put in. They're saying that Arsenal tried to put in a last-minute bid for Johnny Evans, and that was turned down. I don't know if that's true. Why they left it to the last minute? But obviously, I don't know. We needed a defender. I think a defender was an important position to fill for Arsenal.
Have you let Holding go out as well?
No. We still got these guys as backup. So I suppose. Maybe also looking on it, I'm thinking that they can sort out in the summer. The one player, though, I'd really like to know how he's feeling today is Mahrez. I mean, that's 2 windows in a row, isn't it? Remember the last window? He nearly moved right at the end. And again now, this time,
can I just say something? I think our caller's still on the line.
Are you still on the line? Hello?
He's connected.
About 8 minutes he's been on his phone. I hope he asked his mum before he could make a phone call.
Mahrez. He must be gutted. I mean, you know, that's twice now that Mahrez could have been on the move, and you know, you know, what sort of Mahrez is going to go back to Leicester? I mean,
well, he just picked his game up, didn't he? And it looked very he upped his game to try and get the move. Yeah, he's going to be gutted. He's going to be just... He wasn't in the Leicester squad tonight when he knew the deal was off. Maybe his mind weren't in the right place. But for me, he's got to get his head down and play well, because you saw what happened with Saido Berahino. Great talent, didn't get the move he wanted. Then for 2.5 years, you barely saw him play. And now he's not a nothing player, but he's never going to get to the heights that he was at. You know,
will Mahrez get the opportunity again to go to someone like a Man City?
Maybe not. Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name, mate?
It's Josh.
Hello, Josh. Who do you support?
Arsenal.
Arsenal. How are you feeling, mate, after this transfer window, the result against Swansea? How you diddling?
You know what? If I'm completely honest with you, it's disappointing. You know, the amount of rumours that I've heard about, you know, David Luiz and all those sort of people there. And, you know, all we've done is sign more attackers. You know, it's not great in my eyes.
You know what? I get his point and I get what he's saying, because there is a flip side of me that does sit there and say, you know what, we haven't addressed the real concerns in this team, which is defence.
Would we all be saying that today if we hadn't lost last night? I mean,
well, yeah, because I would.
Yeah,
you know, I would.
I think the thing is, right, is that I want to see Arsenal go out next time when they go to get defenders and get a real top quality defender who's a leader. And I want them to get a defensive midfielder who's a leader as well. And to be honest, even though, as much as I'd like us to sign a defender in this window, I don't want us to just sign anyone.
No.
I want a lot of thought to go into this, because the problem is that is a problem area of the club, and you can't just fix it by getting anyone. I personally would have loved to have seen somebody like Van Dijk, but obviously he's gone to Liverpool. But I looked at him last season and the way he played, and I thought to myself that this is a guy who's got the stature, he's got the leadership qualities, and he would be brilliant for Arsenal. Obviously, Liverpool got him. But I want Arsenal to put a lot of thought into that player that they sign in that defensive position. And I think when I look on the window, I think we've done brilliant business, you know, because we got to remember we lost our best player in Alexis Sanchez. And we've replaced him. We've replaced him with a world-class player.
He weren't our best player.
Well, him and Ozil are our two best players, right? And I think we've replaced.
We need them grapes back.
We've replaced Alexis Sanchez with a world-class striker and another guy that's potentially world-class in Mkhitaryan.
Yeah, if he gets his form back, definitely.
Yeah, you know, and you know, I'm pleased with the window. I think, you know, it was looking horrible at the start of this window. Yeah, I mean, with Alexis going, all the rumours going, we re-signed, you know, Mesut Ozil. I'm pleased with the window. I know we need a defender, but I'm prepared to wait until the next window for them to get that done properly.
The
because
thing is,
the league's over.
There is no excuses as well, because with us sorting out the attacking area, we know we don't need to touch that in the summer.
Yeah.
We don't need to find a striker. We don't need a number 10. As long as we tie down Jack Wilshere as well now.
Yeah.
All these creative
it's defensive positions. So I think in the summer you need to look at what we need to look at is the goalkeeping position.
Defense.
We need to look at least one centre half. I think we
also need to look on the right hand side.
Possibly on the right hand side as well. And we need to look, even the most important position, I think,
defensive midfield,
is that player who's that defensive-minded midfielder who allows the likes of Mesut Ozil, Mkhitaryan, those guys to go forward and play, confident that if they lose the ball, somebody is there. You know, somebody like a Matic that you've got at Manchester United would be absolutely perfect for Arsenal. With a guy who's got experience as well. So I'm prepared to wait. I don't want anyone. When people were talking about Nzonzis and people,
and that's the thing. No, I agree with you. I think what's interesting, right, is that I know the guy's still on the line now. I'm going to answer this question. Is with Arsenal, what they were forced into doing in this window is replace. They had to replace Sanchez, and they've done that and some.
And some,
Generally speaking, in the January window, you don't address problems. Liverpool, for instance, they addressed one problem, but another was created with their best creative player in Coutinho leaving. You know.
And they've not replaced him.
No, they haven't.
And you heard Drifty saying earlier, you know, the fact that now Sturridge has gone out, he thinks the team's been weakened by that.
Yeah, well, if you guys would have signed the best centre-back in the world in this window, but then Alexis Sanchez left and there's no replacement for him, it would be one step forward, two steps back, because you lose. But whether he had like a decent little run towards the end, I know he wasn't putting in his all, I get that. But the fact is you haven't repaired any of the problems, but you haven't created more. And I think you have to look at that as a positive moving forward as Arsenal fans and know that the summer months, as you say, 3 or 4 players. He has to go big though. Arsenal have to be prepared to spend £200 million on players, and you're talking because we know how much players are going to cost now. but they've got to be prepared to do that, bring in proper players, and then see whether Wenger hands that over to, I don't know, an Ancelotti or a Simeone, whoever it may be, and grows over there. But look, mate, we really do appreciate your call. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. You've got quite a long answer there. We are going to take a couple more calls before we end tonight's stream. We have been on the air for a long, long time.
You look tired, Robbie.
I'm very tired, mate. I mean,
you look like you're falling asleep in that.
No, I'm not falling asleep.
You know what?
Man.
You know what happens when you fall asleep?
I'm enjoying Terry here, mate. But you know, listen, I was over in New Orleans for about the past 5 days.
I never knew you was in New Orleans.
Drinking from morning to night, and then came straight to Swansea to watch that rubbish last night, and then straight back doing transfer stuff all day.
That is dedicated. We said this to a lot of. Okay, we'll put the caller through. A lot of YouTubers
Robbie,
out there. Do you know what I mean? They don't upload
America.
enough. Yeah, I mean, it did look great over there. That event.
He took troops with him.
Going out the FA Cup looked quite good.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Hello, welcome to FanPark Live. What's your name, mate?
Hi, it's Sean.
Hello, Sean. Who do you support?
Arsenal.
Arsenal. Lovely, jubbly. What's on your mind tonight, my friend?
I was just wondering about if you've heard about the links of Alex Song rejoining Arsenal.
Yeah.
He was I think he was at the club today, wasn't he?
Well, do you know what? It's not uncommon for Arsenal to let old players train with them when they haven't got a club. We've done it to quite a few. I believe that's how we actually re-signed Henry. He was training with us, weren't he? And then Wenger went, you know what? He's not too bad. Flamini.
Yeah. Well, Beckham trained there as well, didn't he, for a while? I remember a time
of ex-players and stuff. So, do you know what? If, let's say for argument's sake, what's his name? Because obviously Coquelin's gone now. El Neni. Let's say El Neni picks up a bad injury at the weekend against Everton. Then, Wenger could turn around and go, you know what? Sign him on a short-term contract until the end of the season.
Yeah, I suppose, he could be back up there, but how old is Alex Song now? So probably about 31, 32.
Something like that. I think. But what could you really lose for a couple of months for the rest of the season?
Depends what sort of shape he's in. Depends what, when's the last time he played in that. But yeah, certainly he could. Could be available
relive
back
2008 all over again. Do you know what I mean?
I love 2008 was a bloody good year.
To me, you know what? Listen, the way I look on it,
League and Champions League.
It looks like Arsenal at the moment are looking forward. So I very much doubt they're looking to bring Alex Song back. But who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, no, that's the most important thing to move forward. Thank you very much for your call, mate. Thank you.
You can also play centre back as well. Remember Alex Song?
Yeah, we did it. He did at Barca. Did he play?
Don't start that.
I'd rather bring back Bakary Sagna then.
One of the comments that came through here is why did Robbie ditch DT for his America trip? He wonder why he rejected taking him.
I didn't ditch DT. That's the comment. You see what he tries to start?
That's a comment. I'm reading the comment.
I did not ditch DT for our America trip.
Is it true you prefer Troops to him?
I did not prefer Troops to DT. No, I didn't.
You know what it was? And I've said this all the time. It's just favouritism, and I was at the bottom of the chain. I got Robbie's missus a new kitchen. And he still didn't take me to America.
I thought that was a euphemism at first. I was like, I don't get it. Okay.
Yeah, no, listen. Robbie messaged me.
I did not ditch him.
No, Robbie, I'll tell you the actual story. Robbie messaged me and he said to me, we've been invited out to New Orleans, America. There's this event that goes on, etc., etc. Do you want to come? And he said, Troops has been invited as well. Do you want to be a part of it? So I was like, let me know the dates and everything else, and yeah, let's do it. And then obviously we were out at the FA Cup at weekend, and he said to me, this is the weekend it is, this is when we're going. And I was like, I've already planned that weekend away with the family, the kids and the missus and everything. I was like, you go out there with Troops, have a good time. Yeah, it was my birthday and everything. So I was like, you go out there with Troops, have a good time, be his translator.
You did American get him.
Go and represent, you know what I mean? Go and represent. And
listen, he had the Americans talking his language, mate.
It was all good fun. And
he looks amazing.
I held the fort this end with a few things and whatnot.
Ask you two both a question and answer it separately for us. Like someone said, that fake laugh. So, but by the way, my laugh isn't fake. It's that if you spend enough time with me, it's how I laugh. I know people think it's fake. That was another YouTube rumor that was created, but it's true. But boys, like Arsenal Fan TV, your own individual channel now, DT has absolutely smashed it. Arsenal Football Club are at the centre of all of that. Like, for yourselves, you know, getting to go off to America to these events and some of the things you're getting to do, DT, like, how great for you all to what sort of the life of YouTube, what it's been able to provide for you. I know people joke about you getting someone a new kitchen and stuff like that, but it has changed your lives in a really positive way, I would expect.
Yeah, it has. It has changed our lives. You know, before I was doing this, I was working full-time as a surveyor.
That's a good job, by the way.
That is a very good job. It was a good job, you know what I mean? And came up with the idea for this. And, you know, it's been a lot of hard work. I think a lot of times people, even today, you know, we've been on the go since the game last night, literally. Since we got back into England. We went straight from Heathrow to Swansea. I haven't even seen my family since I've been back. So... It's a lot of hard work. I'm not moaning about it. It's brilliant work.
Yeah, no, I get that.
But it's a lot of hard work that we put in over the years. I remember when we went up to interview our first fans, when we started doing Arsenal Fan TV, and people, you go up to them and you say, do you want to say something about the game, mate? And they tell you to piss off. You know what I mean? And go, who the hell are you lot? Who are you? You're not BBC, you're not Sky, get lost. You know, and it's over the years, you know, you keep persevering and you keep working hard and, you know, and yeah, you know, listen, I love this. I love what we're doing. I love the fact that, you know, Arsenal Fan TV has disrupted the industry with what we've done. We've come with a new way of doing things. We're giving fans a chance. You know, you would never have heard of from guys like DT before Arsenal Fan TV. And these are the guys that go to games week in, week out. These are the guys that invest their money, their time. Why can't we hear from people like this? Why have we not heard from people like this over the years? Apart from the Madeleine McCann comments, maybe that's why not, right? But why have we not? But why have we not heard from fans like this over the years? I just hope that, you know, one of the legacies of what we do will lead to like every club having what we've got. You know what I mean? Where fans can have their say on their football, just like we're doing tonight. Ordinary fans.
Yeah,
you know, because when you watch Sky and, you know, Jim White does. I've met him before. He's a great guy. And he does a fantastic job, but there's no interaction from fans.
No.
And they're the ones that are going to have to bear the consequences of who's come in and who's left. Yeah?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? When a top player leaves a club, they're talking about it, and then they go home afterwards. Then we're the ones that, we actually feel it. We're like, you know, when Van Persie left, we felt that. We're still feeling it now. So why can't we hear from the fans? And I think platforms like this are fantastic, and I'm so grateful for where we are, what we're doing, and we're, you know, I'm telling you, I think this is going to go from strength to strength.
Bigger and better things. Do you know what I mean? And it's like I said, I've always said, I thank Robbie for giving me a platform to speak on, and I still remember the first time I went on Arsenal Fan TV when we played Leicester away, and it was Arsenal Fan TV was not what it is now in terms of the size. I walked out the stadium. I was in one of my foul moods as usual. Robbie standing there, looked a little bit lost. Microphone was kind of waving around like this, as if to say, like, anyone want to talk? Thoughts, sort of thing. And it was one of those moments where we just kind of bumped into each other. I come out as he was there. He was looking for someone, and I want to say something. Do you know what I mean? And I literally said what I had to say. And then it just went from there.
I remember Claude. We were chasing him around the ground. He was walking around the ground, and we were walking after him. Claude, do you want to, you know? So
a lot of people sometimes have those thoughts that maybe fan channels can be a little bit sort of contrived and a little bit put on, and it's not scripted as such, but you all knew each other anyway, and it was going to happen. But I mean, I remember the first thing I ever did with the Full-Time Devils, and me and Adam McCullough were doing it, and we kind of knew each other because randomly our season tickets were literally one behind the other in Old Trafford. I think out of 75,000 people, we ended up both working on this show, and so we were doing that. You guys just started, and for me, it's one of those things that unless you meet these people, whether it's outside the ground or you watch enough of them, I think you don't listen to what you read on the internet by idiots. I mean, actually come and meet these people, listen to what they're saying, because it's true fans. These guys travel up and down the country, and as anyone who watched me long enough will know, match-going fans deserve more respect than anybody else, because it's a commitment that there's not a lot to do it. Out of the millions that watch football, it's only a few 100,000 that are actually going to games, if you get what I'm saying, and they deserve that sort of credit.
And believe you me, when you go to Swansea, right,
on a
Tuesday night, and it's pouring down with rain, right, and you've just seen a performance by your team, that we saw last night, and at the end of the game, only 3 of them come over and say thanks for coming.
That's what I mean.
You know,
You're not
you got a lot to say.
apart from Ty, you're not going to walk out of a stadium, you know, and start trying to make positive thoughts about things. And it's just like,
I have to,
you know, at the end of the day, not even Charlie Sheen could be that positive. You know what I mean? And it's just.
I always
remember.
remember.
The thing is, what Robbie would tell you, there was one time we was out in. We played a Champions League match, and it was the group game 1, and we'd just lost. And Wenger decided he was just going to play a load of second string players and whatnot. And I think it was Zagreb, actually. And it's when one of my first rants went mad. And Robbie would tell you, I actually went off camera before I went on for a good 10 minutes to try and calm down. Because I wanted to try and give my thoughts across in a more controlled way. And Robbie kept saying, do you want to do your... Leave me alone. And he's like, wow, he's really, really pissed. And when you watch that interview back, you're like, Jesus Christ, that was you calm. And I'm sorry, but I can't... If I pay the money I pay and travel to all the places I do... Remember, a lot of I do with my kids. So it ain't just me. And I'm running my own channel on top of this with my children coming with me, and I'll have my 17-year-old come along, and now my 7-year-old's coming along to all these games with me and stuff like that. So it's all just like, it's so emotional, and you come out of the stadium and you've just seen what's happened, and you got X amount of players don't bother waving at you and saying thanks for turning up. Like last night, that was one of my problems. A load of them just walked off. It's like, you're in a mood because you've just lost. I've just done a 600-mile round trip coming to watch this shit. I'm freezing cold. It's raining, and you can't even just say thank you.
No, I get you completely.
You know,
you mentioned the Thai thing. I mean, actually, the funniest thing. I mean, I'd watched the channel for a long, long time. I got people at work, right, in their 50s and 60s that have never even. They don't watch anything on YouTube. They don't know what YouTube is, but they know who you guys are. They talk about it. They've seen me on there. They're like, oh, I can't believe you know these guys, what they like. But they always go back to that one thing Ty said when he blamed the rain. When he said that. It was when I had to pause the video, and you know you're laughing so much you can't breathe. I was like, I can't believe. And sometimes I think, is he like a Borat type character? Like, is it like a put on? But that
no. Let me tell you something, right? That guy is 100% not a put on. He just backs Arsenal to the. What made me laugh last night is that he's like, the first thing he's going in on is Swansea. Why are they carrying on like there's something great and they're at the bottom of the table? I'm like, they just beat us.
He rows with everyone.
Yeah, he's just like
everyone.
If you're an Arsenal fan, you're his best mate. If you're not an Arsenal fan, he's against you. He's just so totally loyal to Arsenal Football Club, and sometimes he's a bit blind.
Him having a full-blown argument with West Ham's mascot. I think it's like I can't remember the name of the actual mascot, but it's all there in its full outfit, and Ty's there. Yeah, would you say that down at Millwall, will ya? No, you wouldn't. Got it. And I'm just like, oh my god. And then you saw of it. There's a video of him at Watford away last year, and he's rowing with like a load of 11, 12-year-olds. Yeah, but are you more committed to me though? And it's just, oh my god.
I tell you, what I love the most about him as well, and again, I'm not attacking Ty, it's funny. I find it funny when I think Sky Sports filmed him, and he walks past the camera for Sky Sports, and he sort of does the thumbs up thing, like he was a player.
Oh,
you
when
ever
it
seen
slowed
that?
him down.
Yeah, they did it.
That was at Middlesbrough last season. He came off the coach.
Let me tell you something. That guy is a dedicated fan. He goes week in, week out. He loves Arsenal. He loves it. He couldn't live without Arsenal.
No,
that's 100%.
Do you want me to try and give you an insight into Ty's mind and how deranged he is? Right. At one game, now Claude always mentions this about Ty and that he's always late to games and stuff. Right.
Yeah.
One game a few years ago, we were playing West Ham away at Old Upton Park, and he turned up with about 15 minutes to go of the game. And I was like, "Where the hell have you been?" And he was like, "My bus was stuck in traffic." And I was like, where? And he was like, just up on the high road. I was like, why didn't you get off and just walk to the last part of the stadium? He's like, because I paid to get here on the bus. So he stayed on the bus. He stayed on the bus, which was stuck in traffic, missed over 60 minutes of the game because he didn't want to waste his £2 odd that he had paid to get on it. Seriously. There you go. Welcome to the world of Ty.
We never get to see his feet, but does he wear Arsenal shoes as well?
They are moon boots. Wait till you see them. They actually go inwards like this now. They are that big. They are one small step for man. They are moon boots. Seriously, we need to go and get a shot of Ty's moon boots.
But
and they've actually got Arsenal badges on them.
I'll defend Ty all the time. I love the guy, mate. The guy, and he's the nicest guy.
But you know, every club has someone like him. From the lowest level clubs right up to the big boy. There's always one or two fans like that.
He's the nicest guy you meet. He's the nicest guy you meet. He's the most friendliest guy you meet. Unless you're an opposition fan. Or if you're an opposition fan, he don't like you, right? Not in a bad way, but he don't like. He's so loyal to Arsenal, and he's a pleasure to have on, man. I love talking to him.
Apart from when it's raining.
Listen, everybody, look, we really do appreciate you all tuning in with us this evening. Before we go, though, do us a massive favour. Go into the description below. Check out the One Football app. Download it. Get it on your phones. It is one of the best places for football news, statistics, transfer rumours. They'll be back in a couple of days. You know they will, even though the window's shut. Go smash it out for us. We're done here this evening. Thank you all for tuning in for the last 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Feels like 12 hours we've been on. We'll be back again this weekend. Saturday we'll be back covering Arsenal's game. I'm getting so confused. Don't worry, I am. These boys will be at the game. Of Aubameyang's debut. I'm actually looking forward to it.
Aubameyang, yes. So I'm looking forward. I actually think he'll be on the bench.
Anti-climax. Take care, everybody. Good night. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon.